was already crazy. People were, what I hear is doing $1,000 flips just to get the buy-in cap raised.
Wow. I know we have some huge crushers in the game. We also have some really wild players that I absolutely love to watch. I think this is going to be one of the most fun 5-5 games I've ever seen, and I cannot wait to see this action.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. I think half the time we're going to be kind of having our faces behind our hands just at the massacre that's going to be happening.
I can't wait. I wish I was after seeing this lineup. I want to call every commentator and pay them plenty of money to come and take my spot so I could get in this game. I mean, it looks amazing.
Right, JFK is always here in the building, so we can always have him. If you would take my spot,
I will sit at that table in a second.
The problem is, I think the list is so long that it's going to be by like next week you'll finally get in.
Yeah, I will start slaughtering people to get in that game.
Definitely. All right. Speaking of that, let's get down to the table.
Yeah, let's introduce these players. In seat number 1, we all know him and love him. It's Harlan.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a poker string without Harlan. And when you think of kind of crazy lineups, crazy games, Harlan's in that mix. He's near the top of the list of people you think of.
There he is.
All right, seat 2. Who do we have in seat 2? Right now, Brian.
So Brian was in our game on Monday too, and it was really fun to watch. He was pushing the action as well. And just looking at this table, I'm getting excited. Every seat, I can't even say enough. Every seat is a fun seat.
Right.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, I was playing with Brian just, a little bit ago, and we were just kind of talking about this lineup, and he was just licking his chops. He can't wait.
If I had any idea. In seat number 3, we have Bill H. We all know him. He is no stranger to the stream, and we all love to watch him. It is fun. He can amass a huge stack.
Yes.
He also will not stop there. He does give action all over the place, not afraid to get in and mix it up, and we love watching it.
Yeah, Bill's a great presence at the table.
Absolutely. So much fun to play with. Can't wait to see it.
Seat 4.
Another familiar face.
Yes, Dave. And Dave's, he's, like you said, very familiar, plays a lot of the stream, so I think he's the one person that if he catches some hands, the way the table dynamic is, he can really, really run up a stack because people give action on this table, and he's going to come with some pretty strong hands.
Yeah, Dave's a friend. He's a great poker player. I love to watch. He was also in the game on Monday, and I'm looking forward to seeing him tonight as well. Now, seat number 5. Seat 5, AC, do you know much about AC?
So AC and I have played a couple times, really solid player. He thinks, pretty deeply about the game as well.
Okay.
So I expect to see him be very aggressive when he does have hands.
Okay, I look forward to it. Seat number 6.
We got the Afro himself.
Love me some Sasha. He is a crusher. You can see him playing all kinds of limits, killing it not only in cash but also in tournaments, and it's just a great player to have at the table, and I expect him to do well tonight.
Seat 7, Soup Soup.
Soup.
I'm terrible at pronouncing names.
Soup's familiar to the stream too. I've watched him a lot. I've been really impressed several times. I thought he played one way, and then I saw him play completely different another way. So I'm interested to find out which Soup's going to show up tonight.
Right. Yeah, he definitely has a range to his game. So.
Absolutely.
All right, seat 8.
Day. Another familiar face, another crusher. You can see him all over the Bay Area as well as Sacramento, crushing the poker tournaments and tables. And yeah, he's awesome to have at the table. You never know what he has, or can't really put him on a range of hands. So again, there's not a bad seat in the house tonight.
Right. And we'll finish it up with seat number 9, Mike S. Talk to the hand. We talk about rangeless monsters and people that love to drive the action. That's Mike. He is going to be in a large part of these hands, and he's going to be just throwing chips around.
I'm curious to see who is going to be the most wild, because we have a table full of wild players, and I almost feel like they're going to be trying to outdo each other.
Yeah, it's going to be, like I said, it's just an absolute chip bath going on.
I can't wait. I'm so excited for this game. Oh, let's get started. We have a hand here.
And then I think they've been trying to, talk everybody. So they might have agreed to do a $10 straddle, and then maybe sometimes with a $20 dead straddle.
Okay. Yeah, I expect this to not be like any 5-5 game you've ever seen before. If I would be guessing here. It looks like Bill H is already in for at least 100 there, it looked like. We don't quite have the graphics set. Here it comes. Yep. With AC, 20 to call with the King Jack. I think he's going to make that call. He's under the gun +2. Sasha with Ace Queen. He raises to 100. No surprise there. Look at these stacks. Sasha's got 3.4K in front of him. Nice little 5-5 action there.
And then, sorry. Yeah, so yeah, AC, flops the top pair here. And not too much going on for the other hands.
Yeah, Bill H lays down. He had the King 10, and definitely understandable. He didn't have much. Sasha lets it go, and AC's gonna take that flop down. Take it down.
And what's going on, everybody in the chat? We got Ghost of M, we got BJ, Cody, Donkey Puncher, my friend says. Welcome, everybody.
Hello. Good to see you. I'm still trying to get my chat up here. If I don't log in, do you know how I hit the chat to come up?
Hit the refresh, see if that.
But where's the chat up?
And then go to there.
Okay.
Then should bring it up.
Alright. There we go. Now I see you guys. What's up, BJ, Cody? I see you, Donkey, my friend says. This chat out. I'm going to jump over into the Twitch chat as well. So I'm curious to see with some of these players and their reputation in the game, if it changes how some of the other players who tend to mix it up play, if we're going to see certain players playing tighter,
right.
Expecting to just wait for spots and take advantage of some of those loose, aggressive players. And I'm interested to see how people's styles adjust here. If Brian has Ace-Jack, he's the only one with a club, 3 clubs now. He also can hit his straight with a queen. Not much for anyone else here, but that's not going to stop Bill H from putting a bet in. He's going to bet $50.
Check river, and Bill is good.
Yep, with the king. All right. Okay, donkey. Donkey wants to be clear that he is not a donkey, but he does punch them. I understand.
We don't really tolerate, abuse to animals. It's not acceptable these days.
I have to say, if I ever see you punch a donkey, we're gonna have some problems. Okay, here is my Twitch chat too now. I think I'm all hooked up.
And I think the nice thing about this group also is there should be a lot of table chatter.
Yeah, so
these
we can
are all
actually
very
listen
talkative
in too,
people.
some of it. Let me get plugged in. It's a great point. Day with Ace Queen. He's going to raise to 70 here. Now, you said that they're doing a straddle. What?
That's what I was wondering, if they're doing, any straddles, but maybe it doesn't look like they are.
Bill H with 10-8 is going to make the call, as well as AC with deuce 3. And AC Bill H hits the best of it by hitting his 10 here. 2 spades. Day's the only one with the spade.
I like this check back by Day. 3-way, you're in position. You can also bet, but if you're going to bet, you probably want to plan on double barreling.
Right. I think he's exerting some pot control here, seeing if he can maybe another spade comes, or an ace or queen, which he does spike an ace on the turn, which is great for his hand. But it is AC who bets out 150 with his 3. He's got the third worst hand here, but after it went check around on the flop, he decided to take a more aggressive line on the turn.
And Day is going to raise.
Yeah, Day is definitely not going anywhere now that he's hit his ace. It's also a double flush draw board, so he's not taking any chances. He wants to make any draws pay, as well as get value out of what he believes to be the best hand at this point. Donkey wants to know if Brian has been here for a week because he seems to be wearing the same shirt on the last few streams. You know, maybe he's one of those guys that, like, you open his closet and it's just like all the same shirt.
Well, you have to know what goes with your skin tone, so then you just load up on those colors.
There you go. Also, Stones does tend to, like, once you get here, you don't want to leave. It's a fun place to be, so wouldn't be too surprised. I've definitely put in some very long sessions here.
Yeah, it's really nice when we start the stream with everybody having 3K, 4K, you know, just 900,000 bigs deep. No big deal.
Yeah.
Because people are still going to add on.
Yeah,
We're going to see some probably $15,000 stacks by the end of the night.
Pretty much almost every player at this table that I know of, when I play with them, they will add on to the largest stack.
Right.
So I expect to see, you know, every time somebody amasses a huge stack, to see 4 or 5 other people just reach into their pocket and add on to match that stack.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a really good one.
Yeah, I think it's rumored that somebody brought around 30K just ready to put it on the table.
I think I probably have an idea who that might have been. I'll just keep it to myself. But so 9-6 for AC. A little 2-gapper there with the spades. Now he does hit the flush draw. Now he's got quite. Let's see here. Doesn't hit it.
Check, check.
And Sasha's gonna take it down with the 10 high. You know, 10 high like a boss.
And if you have 10-4, you're okay with that turnout. There was no bet ever, and then you picked up the pot. That's okay.
Probably could have seen a bet take it down there. It was a paired board and not a crazy board to be too super scared of.
Right.
So maybe somebody could have let out with some aggression there, but maybe we're kind of seeing what tone certain players are going to take with the night.
Yeah, and I think
other players to drive
you
the action.
Might definitely have some people kind of staying out of each other's way, like, well, we don't really need to create a huge pot between us when we have some other people that are really going to throw some chips in.
Throw chips around. That's a great point as well. Some of these players know who to kind of steer clear of and who they're really wanting to get it mixed up with.
What's going on, Philip? He wants me to know that my mom loves me.
That's good.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom. Love you too.
You seem like a man whose mother loves him.
Yeah. Dude.
Life Insurance Larry, hi. Good to see you in the Twitch chat. Ghost of M, hi. And Philip G, hello.
So we got a pretty good spread of hands here, and we got, Harlan 3-betting with the ace-king and getting a whole bunch of callers. And who flopped? We got Sasha with medium pair. So much going on.
Yeah, so...
And Brian turns the flush draw with the gut shot. Actually, gut shot straight flush draw. But Sue has his 4 for the straight flush.
Yeah, he could. Sub needs a 5 here. He could hit his straight. But 2 of those 5s we see are already gone, as well as Sasha can hit the same straight as well. He already has second pair. here with the best hand. And yeah, everybody's got just like a little something working here. Sasha's gonna bet out what he believes to be the best hand at this point. He's gonna bet 300. Yeah, I expected to see Brian call with his flush draw and straight draw, and he does. The spade doesn't come. This now gives Sasha 2 pair with 7s and 8s.
Yeah, and it's also a good card for Sasha, you know, because now it makes it, you know, pair of 8s unlikely. Or again, that someone has the 8, so he feels better about picking off a bluff with his 7.
He does check back. I think he's curious as to what Brian may have been calling him with, and he knows he has some good showdown value here,
right,
and wanted to just look it up. And I think he was in like check calling mode there.
Exactly. Yeah, there's enough, you know, draws that miss that, yeah, and especially once the 8 pairs, now feels pretty confident about.
Look at these stacks. Our small stack has over 1K, and our largest stack at over 5K already. We are just getting started, folks.
Yes.
We have a 3-hour game ahead of us. This is
16 minutes in. We got
sick.
1,000 bigs on the big stack.
So is Philip your brother?
Yeah.
Okay. He says he is still your mother's favorite.
Well, everybody makes
story?
mistakes. That's why they had a second kid.
Justin said that Sasha's picture's tripping him out. I need to get another look at it.
Looks like he was shaking his afro.
Oh, okay. Let me
yeah.
take his picture.
One arm Louie, what's going on?
Ace Jack for Sasha. He raises to 105 from the small blind. Hey, what's up, one arm Louie?
Justin Kuraitis just subscribed to the YouTube, so thank you. Welcome.
And why would you be doing that, Justin?
I mean, it took him long enough.
Donkey Puncher is saying that Sasha looks like he might have spent some time in Colombia. And you know, unknown fact, some of you may or may not know this, I myself have Colombian heritage. I am Colombian.
Nice.
Got some little ace X's here, ace 3 versus ace 6. Finally subscribe. Everybody, go ahead and click subscribe, like our feed on Twitch and YouTube, so you always get notified. You can get in the game. Never gonna miss out on any of the action. And on Monday, anyone who would click subscribe would get a little blown kiss from Justin. No, just kidding. It was me.
Oh.
We'll see. We'll see about tonight. How many of you guys are subscribing? Okay, so Soup here. He's got a pair of 9s. Nothing working for a bill. Gonna take down this little pot here, little $430 pot, with not even a lot of action going on.
Just a small little one. Yeah, like I said, all these pots are just gonna be worth winning. Yeah, the only times we're gonna see a $30 pot is if it just gets like checks to the big blind, and like the hand that Sasha won with 10 high. That's kind of hand is going to take to win $30 is 10 high. Everything else is going to be hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see some of these players that I know are huge crushers all over Sacramento. I want to see exactly how they plan on trying to amass all the chips tonight. And I'm going to be taking notes, so you guys better come to impress. I'm watching. I'm wanting to learn myself and always looking to get better. It'll be a good one. Bill H with King 8. I bet that he's good for that. Yep, he's good for a raise. King 8 of clubs. He's under the gun +2.
Yeah, and the nice thing, when you start talking about like learning how to adjust to people, so this is early on in the stream. People are watching or having people, send them information on the hands if they don't already know what Bill is capable of. They're going to get information. Hey, he raised under the gun, super early position, King 8 suited. So now you can start 3-betting him really, really light.
Yeah, and gets called by Harlan with the deuce 4 off.
Right.
From under the gun. Yeah. So definitely no short of action. And looky there, Harlan's going to hit his straight, and he's now best here. Let's see what sizing he chose. It's $260 pot. He bet 200, so it's like just under a pot size bet. And Bill H looks like he's cutting out a raise here. He doesn't believe him, and he's going to push the action. Harlan obviously is going to call a raise here because he's got the straight. It's not obviously the nut straight, but he's got to feel pretty good about it.
Oh,
Bill H does make the fold.
Yeah, I think Harlan just called that point. Backdoor flush gets there as well, and it is Bill. He can have a lot of hands, so you can't have the backdoor flush.
Right. What's up, baseball?
It's weird. You see $1,000 stack, and you're thinking that seems like a short stack compared to when you just have these mountains of chips all over the place.
Yeah, right. Usually that's the max buy-in at a 2-5 game. Is $1,000 is the max buy-in, and we're sitting here being like, $1,000 seems a little light. What is this guy thinking? Bill H with the Jack 5. He says, no, Jack 5 is not quite going to work for me here. Sasha's going to raise, though, to 150 from the hijack with his Ace 10. I'm always interested in how people play these, like, Ace 10 type of hands because they're not crappy aces, they're not exactly premium aces, and from different positions. I specifically Ace 10 is one of those ones I really like. It can be like a kind of tricky spot. So I really like to see how different people play it at different times. He's in the hijack, so he's in fairly late position. He chose to raise with it. He gets called by Mike S with the King Jack. He does hit his ace. See if he chooses to continue or if he's going to... I like the check.
Right.
I definitely like the check here.
Yeah, I mean, especially with these kind of hands, you don't want to open yourself up to overplaying. If you have a marginal ace and you're good, then people probably aren't calling much, especially on this somewhat discoordinated board.
Right.
If it's a little more coordinated, you can start betting, to get a lot of the value from draws. But
such a great point.
Yeah, if you get 3 streets of people calling you, your 10 kicker is now looking pretty poor.
Yeah, you're exerting some pot control. I think Sasha felt like he was probably still best here. But like you say, it gives people a chance to either hit like that second pair or middle pair or pick up some sort of draw that they might want to stick around for. And also, again, if you're getting called on the flop, it's likely possibly against a better ace or something like that. So yeah, I like that check as well. So Sasha bets out 245, or I'm sorry, 425 on the river. I didn't see exactly what his turn size bet was, but Mike S does lay it down.
Looks like 250 was the turn size bet.
250 was the turn bet, okay. Yeah, these pots are going to get really huge. I mean, you see there, we get to that size of pot, and all Mike had was king high.
Right. Life insurance, Larry. You should always come to Stones. Is this a $50 straddle? Gotta love having Bill at the table.
Want to see what the other people are straddling as well. Sasha with King, Queen of Diamonds. I like it. He's gonna raise to 150. This little 3x from the straddle size. I like it that he's not making it too big. You don't necessarily want to price out some of these weaker holdings.
Right.
You want to invite, when you've got a pretty decent holding, you want to invite in some of these crappier holdings. You know, you don't want to go, obviously, 6-way to a flop, but you don't want to price out to where you're only getting called by hands that are better than yours.
Right. And especially at 150, you know, even just one caller, you already have a pretty substantial pot.
Yeah.
So you think you bet, you know, pot or pretty close to it. Now you're looking at a pot that's going to be like 900 going into the turn.
Right. Brian didn't pick up anything here, but Bill H has top pair. But he does check, and Sasha bets out 300. Bill H is definitely good for a call here.
This is actually a really good turn card for Sasha, you know, without hitting a king or a queen. This is going to give him enough equity that he should be able to, you know, fire again. But he also is in position, so he might decide to check back just to be able to see the river card.
Yeah, and he continued on the flop. You know, he was our pre-flop aggressor. He continues on the flop because he really wants to see, you know, where Bill H is at, which it can be difficult to, because Bill H can call with just complete error there, or he might have a little piece. But Sasha's trying to put it together, you know, what he has and if he's hit this board. And you can see Sasha paying attention to everything. He's watching Bill H. He's seeing exactly, getting a read on exactly how good he is. And he does slow it down. He checks river there, knows he's probably beat and that Bill's going to call no matter what. So, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and Bill's not necessarily one of the people that you want to just rip a huge bluff into on the river there.
No, absolutely not, yeah.
He has an F it button, and that F it button is call.
Right.
And he uses it liberally.
Yeah. And when he's hitting cards, he knows how to get paid off, and he can amass some huge stacks. I've seen Bill H amass just tons and tons of money when he is running hot. Dondo says Sasha is the whale whisperer.
It is good to have that ability.
I have whale whisperer goals. Plan to watch Sasha's every move tonight.
Yeah.
How can I whale whisper like Sasha?
I find that I usually do pretty well in those circumstances, but I think it's just because I'm willing to mix it up. If you're playing with players that are going to put money in, like big money in, pretty light, you just have to buckle up and go for the ride.
Right.
Get in there, play hands. You know, you're not just playing any old hand. You need to, you know, have a selection of hands. But yes.
But right, yeah, you're gonna play it smart. But yeah, you can't be knitting it up the whole time because you're never in there. So
yeah. It's like you might never bet or call 300 bigs with top pair, you know, lousy kicker, but against certain players, that's a snap call.
So my guess flops top pair here. We've got a 4-way pot.
And he is in late position, so I think he's the kind of player that likes to bomb hands when he has it.
Yeah, with the 4-way pot, I was just about to say, with the 4-way pot, though, I actually like him betting out here. Take control of this pot, get some of, like, the weaker hands to fold out. I mean, it's a very uncoordinated board, though. I mean, there is possible straight draw out there, but you just never feel too comfortable going 4-way in, so I definitely don't mind him leading out, but it was a pretty big sizing.
Right.
He probably could have gotten the same information and done the same thing with a lot less size. Yeah, agreed.
The problem, you know, is for him is he's going to bet that sizing, like when he has a made hand, when he has draws, when he has bluffs. So when you're playing against him, it makes it really difficult. You know, if he starts kind of all of a sudden on the fly messing with bet sizing, he might start tipping, you know, the strength of his hand a lot, you know, to the players that are a little bit more experienced.
Right. Soup's in here with the ace-9. Looks like he's cut out a call. Couldn't see for certain. No, he did. He raised to 110 with his ace-9. He's under the gun +2. This was like early mid, and decides to go and raise with it.
And Harlan wakes up with the kings. Now, before we go too far into it, what are your thoughts on this soup raise, from early position ace-9?
I was just thinking about that myself. The sizing, it was a very small raise. So the straddle was already 50. He didn't go too large. I would have really hated it if he'd gone too large because, again, like we were talking about, he's only going to get called by better hands.
Right.
He went for a very small size so that maybe he could just get it down to a few hands, possibly. I don't hate it, but I don't want to do it too often. Ace-9 can oftentimes be a fold for me from that position. So I don't mind mixing it up here and there when it's been folded around to me or that sort of thing. But it's one of those ones.
Yeah, I think with this lineup, especially with some really good players in the game, so you're in early position, you make a small raise with a suspect hand, you're going to get multiple callers behind you if you're not already getting raised. And now you have some aggressive players that's a really good spot to squeeze. Now they raise, and you can't really continue with your ace-9, so you're just kind of burning money in the long run.
Yeah.
Like that ace-9 plays so much better as the person 3-betting, making the squeeze themselves. Now the only, you can try to do an extra level up where maybe you like limp with it, and then kind of back raise if you get a couple callers and someone squeezes, then you can kind of rip it on them.
Yeah, I like your thought process behind that. From early position, I don't really like to even be in there generally with ace-9. It's oftentimes just a fold for me, ace-9 off. Harlan with the ace-queen, he raises to 200. Acey's giving it some thought here with the queen-10. He would be out of position and dominated if he does make the call. She does lay it down. Now Sasha here is going to be...
About 700?
Yeah.
Oh no, 1.2k?
He's got ace-king, and he's going to 3-bet. Wow, that's a really big 3-bet sizing. So, oftentimes against a super aggressive lineup, they're going to choose a lot bigger sizing, expecting to get paid off when they have big hands. Sometimes these players, the more wild, aggressive players, are going to think that they're just trying to get them off a hand or make a move, and they're not afraid to call big raises. So you'll see a lot of these crushers when they have what they feel to be a really strong hand, choosing larger sizing.
Right. Yeah, especially when you're this deep. Also, you need to size up, being out of position. There's a lot of reasons why you're going to size up. And then, this puts kind of Harlan into an interesting spot too, because he's thinking about, does he need to basically ship at this point? Because a 1.2k bet is now putting everybody's stack into play with a huge range of flops that are going to come out.
And this is a really unfortunate spot for Harlan to be in. He's got ace-queen. Wait, what? I just saw Brian make the call here.
The 4-3 spades.
Wow, okay. So
he's playing
Harlan calls. Brian says, you guys both have big cards. I'm going to play the baby card. And there's already a ton of money in this pot, and see if I can be the one to get lucky if all those big cards are already out, which he's right. Sasha and Harlan both have some of each of their outs, and he flops the best hand. So Brian does have the best hand. Not only does he have a straight, but he also has bottom pair, but it's best currently.
Yep.
And look, he's at 74% to win this pot. This is why, he's going to shove. Now, he doesn't have a ton behind him to actually get anyone.
So Harlan already shoved, so Brian makes the call.
Oh, Harlan already shoved. Okay. Sasha also called.
Oh, sorry.
Sasha called
shoved.
for the 3. Yeah. Harlan would have hit the best of it. Sasha can't get there. Oh, they're running it more than once, which is definitely an option here. See if he can get there this time. Nope.
Wow. Brian holds.
3s hold on both boards. If Harlan had called, he would have won at least half the pot if they'd run it twice.
Right.
But it was an excellent fold by Harlan. He was third best and really liked that fold. Hey, and you know, I like it.
Yeah, and, you know, so once you're Brian, you put a majority of your stack in pre-flop. If you touch that flop at all, you're going.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going anywhere. You can't fold.
Yeah, he's just trying to see if he can get lucky and amass some chips there with two players in such a big pot. And if you're thinking that they have big cards and don't already have made pairs, you've got little suited connectors. I don't hate it at all.
No, and then there's also the in-game consideration of it's still very early in the session. You know, Brian is willing to rebuy, you know, to add on. There's going to be ample opportunity to make that back and more. You know, you have a good image of, look what I just called, you know, with the 3. So I'd be interested, does he fold that about like 9:30, 9:45 when the stream's kind of finishing, or the end of the night, and does he make that full pre-flop? You know, but because it's early in the session, he's, you know, a little bit more willing to gamble it up.
Well, I'm not sure. I saw Brian he was pretty willing on Monday to just mix it up all the way through, but it's a good point, something to think about, that as the night goes on, play definitely does change depending on what you've amassed and how the game has played out, and if you're now trying to hold on to everything that you've gained throughout the night.
And that's so also valuable to know, is like if you see the people that start to protect their stack, it's open season on bluffing them.
Yes.
And they, especially the ones that say they bought it for 500 and they have like 700 in front, so they have that $200 set off to the side. You know, because they're only going to play that $200. They don't want to play that 500. So then you just bet more than, you know, to dig into their actual buy-in, and they fold ridiculous hands.
It's such a great point. I really like how your brain thinks about poker. I completely agree, and this is where you really need to be looking at each player, studying each player, and thinking, is this the type of player that is really here, you know, playing with money that really matters to them, thinking about these chips as money. And when you've got those type of players, you can really take advantage in situations like that. So we've got, is this a bomb pot?
I think it's a bomb pot.
Okay, I wonder what size bomb pot they did here. So we've got 450
like
in.
50?
Yeah, okay. So $50 bomb pots.
I feel like they should go bigger on this bomb pot. Like, there's no
I
reason they're not doing
expect
100 or 150, 200.
You know, it is a 5-5 game, so normally our bomb pots are $25 on the 5-5 games, but with this lineup, with these stacks, we're just expecting it to be huge.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody just do all-in flips and just see how it goes. Each hand's about a half an hour figuring out the side pots. I think Mike just bet about 2,000, or no, 15. And he has the blind hand. I'm guessing with Mike, he has at least a jack.
Yeah, so Sasha here, he's got second pair. It's a very uncoordinated board. No straight possibilities, no flush possibilities.
Mike has queens in the bomb pot.
Oh, wow.
And it's such a scary position to be because it's a bomb pot. You can have absolutely anything, so 3-9 is there. So if you just mash the bet button there and then you get raised, what are you doing with queens there?
Yeah, he bets out big and he takes it down.
Yeah, I was actually talking to a couple people the other day about just kind of bomb pots and just the unique dynamics that, you know, are involved with them. Just because, like that, you have queens. Like, how are you playing it? Sure, you got to overpair it to the board, but everybody's there. Could have anything. Like,
have
do you just
flop to set? You never know. It's really tough. Flop two pair, that many players in.
And you just see people overplay one pair of hands all the time in bomb pots. You know, because you have this mentality of, well, there's $450 in the pot. Like, I need to take it down now.
Right.
You know, so people end up, you know, betting 500. It's like, well, okay.
I
got a
also
couple
see
pair.
there are times in these bomb pots where nobody hits very much of anything, and then they're, you know, but it's just so hard to tell, and that's why the bomb pots can be so interesting, and those pots can get super big.
I think probably in those situations, it's like I still prefer betting, but I don't know that you need to like go pot size, like half size. You know, I think it gets you that same information. You know, still get some value from worse hands.
Right.
And then if you know face a lot of heat, you know, now you have a pretty well informed decision.
So Harlan's got pocket threes here. He's going to call 20. We've got a couple pocket pairs. Brian also with the pocket pair. These little small pocket pairs, they're going to be set mining. Dave with the king jack. Right now it's just a limped around pot. We're going 5 ways in. Nobody hits their set, but Day hits a 6.
No set, no bet. 5.9K.
What's up, Mike?
Top.
Yeah, I definitely think that he thought his queen was good, and you do have to go with that idea until someone proves you differently.
Yeah. I just think, yeah, again, it's a sizing issue. But, you know, and sizing is such a complex kind of idea to get your head around, you know, because there's just so many variables to it and how it affects like the future, like the progression of the hand, you know, and like what hands can now call if you bet smaller versus larger. And it's just a really dynamic thing that I think that's one of the things that makes No Limit so difficult to really master, is because I don't know that anybody really masters the bet sizing. Like it's a constantly evolving thing.
Right. Dave with the queens now. Yeah, we were talking a lot about bet sizing during our tournament because there are so many ways to get sizing tells, and tournaments is a really good time to pick up on that. And you've got a lot of time to say, oh, we've got queens versus jacks here. So Dave just calls with his queens. Interesting line. But AC, he raises with his jacks to 170.
He folded? That's a little too tight.
That's super tight. I don't believe Dave would fold queens there at all. So I'm not sure if he either misread his hand or didn't look at his... I'm not sure what just happened. To just a $170 bet.
Right.
I'll have to ask Dave about that hand later because I don't see him folding queens in that spot. What's up, Henry? Somebody may have just hit a jackpot in the room. The whole table is going crazy. Jackpot. I just heard somebody say jackpot. So our room just exploded with excitement. They've hit a jackpot, which means somebody's getting paid. That whole table's getting paid. I wonder what our jackpot is at right now. What it's up to.
I'm not sure. Do they do room share here?
I don't know.
Just table share.
If they do room share, the booth should count.
Right?
The booth should count.
I'm not seeing enough excitement in the rest of the room.
Table.
I think it's just table.
It is just the table. I've seen them. I moved to a table the very next hand after they had a jackpot.
Actually, that'd be a good table to be on. A lot of disposable
they all
money.
Like cashed out. They like all like.
That's the other thing that happens.
Yeah. Wow. Kings for soup. Wow, that's exciting. There are some excited, happy players. I would love to know what that bad beat is up to right now. So the way our bad beat jackpot works is if you have the worst hand, you're going to get paid out the most amount of money. The best hand, second most, and then the table splits the rest. I don't have the exact percentages on that, but yeah, the bad beat. We'll try to see if we can get more information for you guys on how much the bad beat was and exactly what the percentages of payouts had. Oh, Casper was on that table. I think, or was, no, maybe he wasn't. No, he wasn't at the table. I saw him over there. Thought maybe he'd gotten a little chunk of the action. He did quite well in our Monday game, though, anyway, so he didn't need it.
Maybe JFK will know.
Yes. We'll get some clarification on that. We love bad beats, especially when they have a jackpot. Yeah. No, jackpot bad beats.
Yes, yes.
Exciting stuff. Harlan with pocket sevens. It's $70 to call because Bill H raised to 75 and he raised, we don't know what his cards are though currently. Okay, he's got 9-10 of diamonds. I like these hands here. Harlan's out of position. They're both in early position here. Harlan decides to 3-bet to 230. Again, choosing to try to get the pots bigger against a player that he feels like he might be able to take advantage of or outplay post-flop, or who's going to be willing to call more loose. But Bill H does hit his 9.
Yeah, I just think you also need to kind of pick your opponent. Like, are you really wanting to bloat the pot with 7s there against someone that's not really folding anything? Now you're out of position.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. And Bill H does hit his, but it goes check on the flop and the turn because of Harlan's 3-bet. Ace Queen definitely looks to be in his range, but Harlan hits a set on the river, so he's gonna finally bet it here. And I expect it may get called because of the way this action went down, because it goes check flop, check turn.
Right.
Bill H feels like his 9 actually
might be good.
Very likely may be good here. Yep, and so he does make the call.
And
what sizing did he choose? Did he just make it 300? Yeah, so he tried to choose the sizing that he felt like could get paid off. 490 in the pot, so it's about 2/3 pot there. And gets it paid, picks him up a nice little pot.
And Harlan just gets there.
Yeah, wow. Nice. Softball says that he really enjoys the tournaments we have here, that the last Sunday one was really well run and very enjoyable.
Yeah, and there's a lot of playability on these tournaments as well. Yeah, like even the small daily tournaments have a lot of play to them, and then the fact that they add a free $300 last Sunday tournament entry to the winner, is amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. And this last Sunday was the most exciting one I've ever seen. Also, we seem to continue to see some of the same players at these, so if you're an excellent tournament player, like you're saying, it's a great structure for you to be able to consistently do well on those tournaments. This last one was one of the most exciting final tables that I've seen in a long time. We were serving up some crazy rivers. You guys should go back and watch this last Sunday's tournament. There was not a boring moment. It was super exciting. Got a hand developing here. Day raises to 130 with Ace King from the cutoff. Brian's gonna call with the Ace 8. It is suited, but again, it's one of those Ace X hands that you don't really know where. If it doesn't come diamonds, you don't really know where you're at. It's not low enough ace to be able to hit any kind of straight. Not high enough to feel good about your kicker.
Yeah, it's just some of that stuff. Is like when you start getting as deep as they are, it's just you can easily kind of trick yourself into thinking that you could win a bigger pot than you probably really can. Like,
right.
Because you think, like, how often are you stacking people with, when you make the nut flush? Like, you can get some good value, but when you're this deep, especially against better players, maybe if it goes backdoor flush, you can, get some good value. But most people now are pretty used to seeing when a flush comes, they just kind of shut down.
So Bill H actually hits top pair here for the best of it. Mike S has a straight draw. He can hit a queen. Gets down to them. It was a bet of 500 and a call. This is kind of a battle of the most loose aggressive players at the table.
That's interesting. It took us this long to get this battle too.
Yeah, and now another spade comes, does not slow Bill H down. He bets out 600 and Mike S makes the fold there. He doesn't have a spade, takes away one of his outs, he feels like, likely takes away one of his outs for his queen. So at that point, he feels like he may only be drawing to 3 outs if Bill doesn't already have the flush or something of that nature. So now we found out the jackpot was $35,600 jackpot. Nice little payday when you're just sitting at a little 1-3 table.
Yep.
$35,000. Now, if we can find out exactly how that gets split up, I would love to know the split up. I know the loser is going to get the most.
Right. The loser is now the winner.
That's right.
That's actually the first time I've ever been in the room when one's hit.
Really?
Yeah. In all my years playing. I think
Yeah, it's hard to be here when it's hard to hit them. Very, very hard to hit them.
So maybe I just broke, like through, and now I'm going to be a part of all of them.
Suddenly, we're going to hit a bunch of them?
Yep.
So
I'm ready.
Exciting. Always good for the... Okay, so the payouts are 40, 20, 40. So what that means is the loser got 40% of that 35,000. The winner got 20%, and the table splits the other 40%. So very, very nice.
About 16 for first.
Yep.
Sasha raises 9-7 to 70, and Soup right behind him gets queens, 3 bets to 295. Mike has King Jack suited, or King Jack offsuit, and calls. I think with this action, Harlan makes a really good fold there. With this action, I could easily see Harlan calling on the button with the Queen Jack.
Yeah. So yeah, our loser got over 14K. Yeah, over 14K for a loser, and our the table split 14K as well. So the queen, when you've got queens, the last thing you ever want to see is an ace hit the flop. That is what's going to happen. So Soup does check. Bill H with the ace also checks, exerting a little pot control here. He doesn't love his kicker. Makes Mike feel like, hey, I've got a straight draw here. I've got a club. I'm going to go ahead and lead out.
And how do you like this? You bet out with queens on this board, and you get called in both places. Now you're not feeling too good about your queens. But you got to like that it checks around on the turn.
Well, Soup checked the flop too. I think it was Mike S who actually bet out from last position.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah, Mike S, and then he got called in both spots.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, Bill H takes it down. Who dealt the bad beat? I don't remember his name. But yeah, it's always great to be the dealer on the bad beat as well.
Yeah. Usually that will make your day. If you deal it or win it.
Yep.
If it doesn't make your day, I want your life.
It would make my month.
Right?
Gosh, I would be overjoyed. Ugh. Dinner on me. Dinner and drinks on me for sure.
On Wednesdays. And all wine. It's half off.
Oh yeah, it's Wine Wednesday, you guys. Come on down. You can get half off bottles of wine here.
And Ubers are cheap.
Very true.
So it looks like we have $25 straddle. Dave raises Queen Jack to 60, and Mike right behind him 3-bets. A healthy 3-bet too.
Wow. Yeah, so Mike is choosing to mix it up now. He's adding some of these little suited connector type cards into his range of 3-betting options, which I really don't mind. He did choose a really big sizing though. But yeah, every now and again 3-betting these hands is good, just because you don't want to just 3-bet every time you've got a big hand. Harlan with the 7-9 is not afraid to look him up and call, and actually has him dominated with the better suited connector. Let's see, Mike's going to continue his story on the flop. I'd love to watch the player when I'm at a table, especially in commentating, really watch the player and how is he acting right now. We know he doesn't have anything. He's got 7 high. Look at his comfort level. What's he doing? How comfortable does he feel? And then whenever he's got a made hand, how does his demeanor change?
Yep.
And those are the type of things that you can pick up on and take advantage of as the night goes on.
Yeah,
he continues in Harlan folds.
I definitely love, same thing, just watching people, one, like you're saying, establish a baseline, and then 2, watch their reaction as the flop comes out, or as that card comes out.
Hello, Daniel. It looked like he actually hit a straight there. The graphics came out
Hit a
pretty quickly.
Inside straight draw, unless did they rabbit hunt?
Maybe they did, because it looked like it flashed very quickly, but it looked to see like he actually did hit his straight.
Gotcha.
Oh, Dondo says it was a rabbit.
Nice. Mike Polani, what's going on? Paul Hillard, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Hiller, you definitely tipped that dealer really good for dealing you that losing hand. I always wonder, what is an appropriate amount to tip in a situation like that? Obviously it's up to a player's discretion,
right?
But you definitely want to be super generous with your dealer on a bad beat hand like that. And hopefully everyone at the table tips out the dealer.
Yep. As it should be.
Yeah.
And I think we're really going to start seeing Mike just ramp up the action now. He's kind of loosened up. Has his chip throwing hand ready. And he's just going to start bombing.
Yeah, Bill H has the nut flush draw and a pair of 6s to go with his flush draw. Mike S with pocket 10s and a straight draw as well. So I don't think these players are going anywhere. Again, we've got the 2 most aggressive players mixed up in a pot here. I think this one could get big, depending on how it all rolls down. Because Mike S feels good. He's got an overpair to the board. Bill H feels good because he's got a pair and a nut flush draw. Mike S decides to just shove it all in now and try to either make Bill H... Oh, and Bill H makes the call. Let's see if they decide to run it once or twice. Wow, he just calls.
They're sickos. They might just run it once.
Wow. Oh, and he hits it. He hit it. Nope. He did just run it once.
Wow.
Bill H hits that flush and wins a 10K pot on a 5-5 game. 10K. Yes. Come on down to Stones. If you like you some action, get in this game. It's insane.
And now we're really going to get some money on the table.
Wow.
Because I think Mike's going to add on to probably match that stack. And who?
Yeah,
Then you're going to have some other
got
people.
Cash, pulling out cash right now. Wow. Wow. Going off camera.
And Sasha's already counting how much he's going to be adding on.
Yeah, so Bill H now has, we talked about this, how Bill H, when he's running hot, he can amass huge stacks, but he's not afraid to keep playing and keep mixing it up.
Yep.
You're not going to see him start to knit it up once he gets a big stack. That's not Bill H's style. He came to play and have fun. And here it is. Wow.
I know, like, a lot of times we say we really want to jump in the game, but I really, really want to jump in this game.
Yes, absolutely. These type of games, especially when they get really big, though, like, you better hope you have a real healthy bankroll, though, too, because it can go in either way.
Yeah.
It can go either way.
Yep.
You know, like someone said in the chat, he made that call quick. He is not afraid to gamble. You better just sit and pray that you hold, you know?
Yep. I'm still counting this pot out. Well, what do we have coming up? We have the Quantum Tournament coming up, and it's a super cool tournament. You have a whole bunch of day ones that you can buy them for $120. Yes, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different days you can buy them for $120, and then 2 days you can buy them for $240. And it's going to be, as you can see, they're 100K guarantee. And so if you qualify for day 2, you get $250 cash. And then for each additional day that you qualify for day 2, you receive $900 cash.
That's what's so cool about this. You can automatically get a bunch of money just by qualifying more than once, and then you get to take your largest stack to the table.
Yes. And for 100K guarantee for $120, I mean, that's going to be pretty impressive.
Legit, yeah.
And it's going to clear that 100K guaranteed. I'm not guaranteeing it, but I'm saying it's going to happen.
Yep.
So I'm really excited for that one. And that's starting here on Monday.
Yeah,
Monday, April 30th.
You may have already said this, but yeah, you can just straight buy into day 2 as well for the 900, and you're going to start with 100,000 in tournament chips. So I missed you saying that.
No,
okay.
that isn't important.
Yeah. So if you want to just say, I'm going to skip day 1, I'm going to take it off and rest, meditate, do yoga, eat healthy, get prepared. Then day 2, straight buy-in, 900. You're going to start with a really healthy stack of 100K. Softball wants to know when it'll be added to the Stones website calendar. I don't have that exact time. I'm sure it'll be coming up pretty soon. This one is April 30th through May 6th. And again, so the $120 buy-ins, on several days, like May 1st, May 2nd, and May 3rd, we're running 2 of those 120. So you can do a 10 a.m. and then if you don't make it, you can come back at 6 p.m. and try again. Again, on May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, you've got 2 flights on each one of those days.
So AC raises with queens pre-flop. Now, he's not too stoked to see a king, but he is much happier to see 2 kings.
2 of them, yeah.
Yeah, so, it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable betting. I think you could still bet here, just maybe bet a little smaller, kind of small sizing. Just you can still get some value, but queens are still a little vulnerable, but it is nice that 2 of the kings, 2 of the overcards are already on the board,
right.
To give you your hand a little bit, less feeling of vulnerability.
So the $120 buy-in ones, you're going to start with 10,000 in chips and 10% of the field advances. We had a question in the chat about what the stack sizes are, and then on the 240 buy-ins, you're going to get 20,000 in chips and 20% advance. So by paying that little extra, we're going to take a larger percentage of the field to day 2. You also get a deeper starting stack. Yeah, it should be a fun one.
And Bill is still stacking his chips from that pot.
Wow. Insane. He has has over 10K in front of him.
So nice. He should just color it all up to red chips. Just color down so he has a ridiculous pyramid and stack of chips in front of him.
We were just talking about the person who hit that bad beat, who lost on the bad beat. They got paid a little over 14K. Well, Bill H is just about to reach that same stack.
He won his own jackpot.
Yeah, he won his own jackpot without ever having to take a bad beat.
That was just a hand.
Just a hand. Just one hand. Okay. Bill H hitting the best of it again. Middle pair. He's gonna bet out. He feels he's good. And I think he's gonna take it down here. AC could want to look him up. AC, yeah, he's gonna take it down, and we're gonna keep moving on.
Yeah, you always have to be a little wary of the guy that's still stacking their chips while they're like betting. Because we've all seen people just go on runs.
Right.
So, you know, you kind of got to stay away.
Yeah, and people, you know, have been bit by that run good.
Yeah, and people get that. You know, you hear about tilt all the time. You know, if you're running bad, change the way you play. But there's also such a thing as winner's tilt,
Right.
to where you start hitting every hand. You just expect it to continue. You don't realize that your runs kind of died down.
You start playing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Mike McGough, hey, what's up? He said Bill hit the good beat jackpot. That's right.
All right, Sasha raising 7-4 on the button, which I'm fine with. If it folds to me on the button, I'm raising pretty much every playable hand, and then some that are not. Yeah, and Mike has about, what, 8,000-9,000 in front of him now? So he's definitely added on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, he matched, basically. So Mike S now has 10.3K. He wanted to match Bill H's stack, so he basically got stacked and then just rebought for 10K, just like...
And I think Sasha is saying, hey, who can go bring me some more money?
Yeah, I thought I was playing a 5-5 game. I didn't bring it up on my bankroll.
I only brought 8K.
Alpha Med said, Harlan a low stack? That's rare. Yeah, it's just because this game is insane. Harlan hasn't been running bad or playing bad.
Well, and he
He's
still
been
has
winning.
a decent amount in front of him.
Yeah, he's been winning. We just, this is like a 5-5-50. This is what it plays. It's
Yeah.
playing like.
This play is almost as big as a Veronica and Friends.
Yes, almost as wild without the wine. It is Wine Wednesday, though. Come get your half off your wine. Eat some of this delicious food. I'm thinking about some of their delicious grilled chicken and some Brussels sprouts, like one of my favorites. For every hour that you sit at the table, you get money on your Stones card that you can use towards food, drinks, or hoodies, hats. We're always giving back to the players. Again, also in the morning time, we give free breakfast to poker players from 7 to 9. Come eat breakfast with us and play some poker. Just a little hand here.
And like we always say, the food is really good here. They got the cheap players menu, and yeah, so
Yeah.
you're getting good food, cheap prices while hanging out and collecting pots.
Absolutely. Friendly staff, great food. Yeah, as he was saying, they have a specific menu for the poker players where you can get food inexpensively. Bill H. has got A7, 25 to call. I bet that's playable for him. Oh, He's gonna lay it down.
And Bill's gonna get rid of some of those pesky little chips. 25s.
He is in very early position. He may have just been distracted and decided to lay it down. We see Soup coming in for a raise here. Looked like about 100. But our graphics will catch up here in just a minute. We'll know exactly his sizing. He's gonna cut off with ace queen.
Yeah, it looks like 100. 1,
95.
2, 3, 4, 5.
He's like, a discount. I'm gonna just go a hair under 100. So, kind of like when we buy things, they're like $2.99, $3.99. He's like choosing a sizing that feels just a little less than 100.
And you have Mike 3-betting to 305 with the ace 10.
He hits the 10.
He flops the best of it.
No spades for anyone, but Soup could hit a jack here to make the best hand. Let's see if he chooses to continue his story. You know, he checks, he hits his queen, so now he's got the best of it. Mike also, it got checked around, so on the flop, Mike did not bet his 10. He chose to check it, which with that middle pair hand and 2 spades, I would have liked to see him maybe look to protect his hand a little bit and make a bet on the flop there. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're 3-betting out of position, you know, you do have to continue. You expect that you're going to get called probably pretty wide just from the players themselves, but also the coordinated nature of the board. You know, but yeah, I think you can still bet and just, you know, kind of bet and then reevaluate on the turn.
Yeah, and he may have just won it straight there on the flop if he had continued.
And I guess
he just knew it was going to happen like that. He just like bets out a huge
2K.
bet. Soup calls with the queen, and he's going to get the really bad news. Wow. See, this is why these players who can be so wild can amass these huge stacks, because Soup just has to say, I'm going to buckle up and call with my queen because it's Mike S, and the way this hand played out doesn't feel like a 10 there.
Right.
Yeah, so he 3-bets early position, which doesn't put him on a 10 range. Then he checks the flop when it comes out king 10. And the turn, I don't know exactly what the action was, if Soup bet out his queen or not, but it may have gone, he did? Yeah. He just calls there, and then 10, it looks like he's making a huge river bluff. So Soup's thinking, against this player, I have to just make this call.
Yeah, and it looks like, you know, they came in together. It looks like they're, you know, pretty friendly, so know each other well. So I'm sure there's also a lot of, you know, dynamics between the two of them. You know, they just love to take each other's money.
Yeah.
So, and that plays a healthy part in it.
The new dealer, it looks like Cameron just sat down. So we should have another bomb pot now.
Alpha Med, welcome to the chat.
Hello.
Mike Magoo.
Hit the follow and subscribe button, and always get notified whenever we go live. We are streaming 3 nights a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We also do a last Sunday of the month tournament. Okay, they're just catching up with the bad beat, I guess.
Yep.
Just happened for them. We also, coming up very soon, in the middle of April, I believe it's April around 16th through the 22nd, somewhere around there, a little bit, 13th through the 22nd. We have all our bloggers coming in.
Yes.
It's going to be a super exciting time.
Yeah,
Lex Veldehus, Andrew Nemi, Carl Martin, and there's another one I'm missing. My mind went blank. I don't have it in front of me.
Jason Somerville.
All going to be here playing and commentating.
Yeah, like the whole week, we're gonna have, you know, a bunch of Run It Up guys that are here for a bunch of cash games. They're gonna be in the booth, you know, giving some really, really high level analysis And even if they just tell stories, you know, about just kind of their day-to-day life, that's amazing too. You know, because it's really great to kind of see how some of these just really top-level people just live, you know, how they approach life.
If Bill H didn't need to run any better, I mean, he just is going to anyway. So he hits the Trip Kings. He's in a pot with Sasha, who bets out 550, and Bill H is going to make an insta call. Sasha just straight mugs, and Bill H takes it.
So we talk about this concept of called the bluff catch, or you know, the bluff call. And you know, so I'm still trying to get it to work once. So basically, the idea is, you know, like players that you know that bluff, and then when they call, they just automatically muck their hand and they don't even show it. So against those players, you know, I try to every once in a while just call, even though when I know I'm bad, hoping that they'll just muck, and then yeah, I could be like, oh,
that's a risky venture right there.
It hasn't paid off once yet. I haven't got it. So timing is everything on that one.
So someone was asking for cumulative winnings. Bill H has already, we're just right at an hour into our stream, and he's won over $8,000 already. Brian's up over 2K, 2.4K. Everyone else is either just slightly down. So Brian and Bill H are up a lot, and everyone else is down. Soup down the most right now at 4.2K.
Yeah, and
somehow Mike S only down 1.9K, although even though losing that ginormous hand to Bill.
But the nice thing about this game is those numbers are pretty insignificant. Sure, it seems like a lot of money, but we've seen these pots. You win a couple pots and now you're back to normal. You know, you're back to even.
Dave has aces. Mike S with pocket fours. Bill H, pairs everywhere. Bill H also with a pair. Let's see if we can hit a set. Let's see some crazy action. Aces versus sets. It's going to be interesting. And we get down to our three pairs here. So Dave 3 bets to 1.1K. Let's see what Bill H and Mike do, because he's up against the two wildest players who would, most people with 2s or 4s facing a huge bet like that, gonna insta-muck. Bill H and Mike came to play. Right. We want to hit our set. We want to see a flop, and here we go. Already over 3.4K in this pot. No sets anywhere. 2 hearts, 2 sevens. Let's see what Dave decides to do with his aces.
What do you do here? Say it checks to you.
You bet out. The pot's already so big. And you know, there are 2 hearts on the board. You're not necessarily wanting to give out any free cards against these type of players. I like him to bet out here. What do you agree with that, or do you would like to see a check? Or you think that you can like 50-50, half the time bet out, half the time check?
all over all my options right now. Like I can't figure out. So I could either check because it's going to be hard for that to hit, and like say if they have 8s, 9s, something like that, it's going to make them feel a lot more, you know, a lot more comfortable calling. Like I feel like I might be able to get their, you know, the rest of the stack if I check the flop. I could just ship it because it's already so bloated that they would expect me to do that with, you know, ace king, just continue to fire, or I could bet, you know, like 3rd pot, half pot.
Yeah, I could really be convinced either way. It is true because it is a paired board. I don't think there's necessarily a really wrong way to do it, because the board is paired there as well. And
SPR is so low, you can get it in at any point.
Yeah.
You know, you could check all the way down the river, and it's still a river shove makes sense. Yeah, so it's a spot, like I said, is just not really a whole lot of bad options.
Yeah, everyone in the chat is like loving this. People calling 1K with pocket deuces. Yeah, that's the game that we're in right now, folks. I hope you guys are ready for a fun night.
So the real question is, could he have bet more pre-flop? Because I mean, I think, was it raised to 300 before him with the call? I mean, I think he probably could have got away with a little bit more.
I don't know. You getting pocket deuces and pocket fours to call 1K there, I like, whatever you're doing, I'm liking it. That's true, but I mean, I don't know how crazy they're going to get. You
like,
definitely
where
want
is
to
that
choose
cutoff?
larger sizing with those players. Suited Aces says, Jesus, 13K and a 5-5, just casually playing 2,500 big blinds. Yeah.
That's some people's bankroll.
This is no ordinary 5-5. This is how we do it down at Stone. Ace King here for Harlan. Sasha's got the pocket sixes, which are still best. Board's rainbow, but 2 9s. Goes check all around. I'd like to see, let's see, who's first? Bill's first act here. He says, again, Bill H is like, if you guys aren't betting the flop, I'm going to bet the turn on this board, thinking nobody really has much. We're definitely going to see Sasha make the call here. Oh. Maybe he's still a little bit,
yeah, I think it's
a little bit hurt after the last hand that he played against him, but
and he definitely has to worry that Bill's going to fire again on the river, making it really difficult for sixes.
so 6 to call. That's true. He might just be able to find a better spot.
He has Harlan
and he's got
behind
Harlan behind him. He doesn't know what Harlan has. Harlan makes the call though. Yeah, Sasha's trying to find those specific spots in the night where he can be most profitable, and he just felt like this wasn't necessarily one of them.
A little bit too marginal of a spot.
Yeah.
The thing you have to ask yourself is, would Harlan check back jacks, 10s, queens there on the flop with Bill in the pot? Like, I don't know that he does. I think he bets. Just nature Harlan is very
Bill
aggressive.
Bill is in the hand as well.
But we would expect Bill to check, that flop with a 9. Like, I think he checks most hands, to the razor.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, looks like someone was spinning the wheel and shaking up the camera. So.
Yeah, anytime somebody hits a royal flush around here, you get to spin the wheel to win something, and everything gets a little shaky. So don't forget to hit subscribe and like.
Yes.
Get notified when you get in the game. Whenever we go live, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. Fridays are usually our big game. Wednesdays are our big game. Like Wednesdays are just our little 5-5s with 15K up top, and everybody's sitting at like 5K or more. So let's see here. Brian's got the ace king now. Let's see how he plays it. Who bet out 75? Sasha raises with his pocket threes to 75. He's in early position, which I think is fine to do some of the time. You build yourself a little pot for when you do hit your set, as well as disguise your hand. Got a calling all around here, but yeah, Brian, rightfully so, he 3-bets 325. He says, I have the real hand here. But he's on the button, which can make some of these players feel like he's just making a move because there were already 4 callers to the 75. It looks like a great spot for Brian to just get real aggressive and get these players to fold out their hands. And this is not the table to do that on. So everyone was suspicious, and they said, you're on the button, you're just trying to get a little wild here. We're going to call you.
Yeah, this is, a good strategy in this game is to make a hand and get paid.
Right.
You're just not gonna. You kind of throw bluffing out the window. If you are bluffing, you're gonna bluff. Flops when you have a lot of equity, where it's basically you're flipping, and then you're willing just to get it all in and run the board multiple times.
Right.
Which kind of makes you scary to play against.
Harlan has the best hand with his eights. But yeah, Brian, to himself, he likes to really mix it up, so I just felt like they just weren't willing to believe it. Sometimes people who know how to play properly, they are going to be thinking people are making moves where in spots where people should be making moves or normally
just
would be
happen to
making
have it.
moves, but they actually happen to have it. And these other players are going to just fight back. And that's what we kind of see here.
Bobcraft, welcome.
So Harlan bets out 1K, and Bill H makes a quick call. He has a straight draw to go along with his 8. We see he's got 8 outs right here. That is not one of them. Harlan gets the check mark. Let's see if he wants to do some pot control and check here.
Yeah, I think once Bill checks back,
Showdown value.
or checks to him, he's just going to check back, yeah.
Yep. He does, and he is relieved to see that he's still good.
Just a 3.7K pot.
Yeah.
In a lowly 5-5 game.
Yeah, whenever you've got third pair, and there's a straight draw out there, and you're taking down a 3.7K pot.
$12.1K up top. I'm assuming Sasha's adding on.
Yeah, he looks to be.
Either that or he's just making it rain.
You know, one thing that's very different from our Monday game to this game that I'm noticing. Monday game, everybody had an earphone in and was pretty much watching the stream and listening to the actions going down. This table is all focused on what's actually happening at the table currently. I don't see a single person, maybe one player, but I don't really see anyone actually watching the stream. They're all seem to just be focused in on the game itself.
Right. Yeah, I think AC is watching, watching
Or
the stream.
listening,
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what we said in the beginning. These are the players that they're going to be very talkative as well. And typically, those players aren't going to be too invested in their phones. They're here for enjoyment. They're here to mix it up. And, just, you can play on your phone at any given time.
Right.
But you can't play in this game at any given time.
Exactly.
And then again, when every pot's like 3K, that grabs your attention a little bit.
Pocket 9s for AC, pocket 8s for Brian. Mike has a straight draw. He hits his ace though instead. And a little pair for Bill. 8s are gone.
Harlan with the 2 pair.
Yep, Harlan with a better, 2 pair aces and 4s. What's up, Bob? Good to see you in the chat.
About 2,2800 to bet.
Raised to 2.8K by Harlan. I don't see... Mike can't feel good about his hand here. He's got that bad kicker. But he does have a straight draw to go along with it, so he may make the call. You see, he could also hit some chop cards here. Jack or 5 or the 3 to chop.
There you go. Good fold.
I'd like to rabbit here.
Right?
Just to see how good they're running. Yeah, Donkey Puncher says over 50K on the table in a 5-5 game. You guys, we have over 50K on this 5-5 game. That is true.
Yes.
These graphics are not wrong.
No.
There is over 50K on the table right now. And it is moving around.
Yeah.
It's not sitting.
No, it's in a blender.
Gatsby says easy fold.
Freckle Peckle, what's going on? Vocal Terror in the chat.
What's up, Vocal? Mike S, pocket fives. Someone's gonna hit a set at some point, and Mama's gonna like it.
I was just thinking, you know, we need a set over set hand. I'm like, wait, what am I thinking? We don't need that. We just need pair versus pair.
Third pair versus second pair is all we need here.
And they
to
get it
all in. Ace King for Day. He 3-bets to 500. He's under the gun. So he's in early position. I like this 3-bet. Mike S is going to call. He's trying to set mine. I'd like to see Harlan fold his ace-10. He's likely up against a better ace or a made paired hand. There are 2 players already in the hand that have called the bet there. He's considering it. He doesn't, you know, he likes to battle for these pots, so I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, he's gonna just say, I just want to go ahead and see it.
Right. But yeah, I agree. This is a hand you can get away with, especially once it's been 3-bet. You're looking at, you know, pretty often definitely a better ace or like jacks, queens, kings. Right. You know, to where you just have very limited outs. You got people already putting in heavy money, so it's likely your ace outs are gone as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, after Harlan gets in there, it's just it invites Bill H in, who probably would have been anyway, and it invites Soup in. That may have actually been what Harlan was thinking as well, is once I call, these players behind's going to call me, and then look at these odds. You know, you've got 2.5K already in the pot for you to call, or 2.5K to win. You put $400 more in there. Wow. Day hits top 2. Harlan now also has top pair, but again, he's in that situation with the worst kicker, and this is where you got to say, now what do I do when I'm facing a huge bet from Day? I've got top pair. I don't want to be bluffed. How did I get myself quite into this pickle of a situation?
It's like you don't want to have to, you know, play a scenario where you're hoping to flop the nuts to be able to continue, and that's kind of what you have with ace-10 in this situation.
Yeah, he's checking out to see how much Day has behind, saying, if we're going to get this all in, how much is it going to cost me altogether? No hearts for anybody. Oh, he just says, let's do it. Let's get it all in.
And it raises to 4,000.
Wow. And of course, Day's going to insta-shove. Wow, all in for 5.1. Now it's 1.1K more for Harlan to call, and he's in pain.
And how many times are they going to run it?
Calls.
Just the once.
Wow.
12.7K pot.
I'm happy for Day, but I'm in pain for Harlan. It's rough.
Like I said, yeah, these are situations where you know, a fold there pre-flop saves you so much money, you know, because now the pot's super bloated and you feel you can't get away. Especially on a coordinated board like that, you can say, well, he can easily be, you know, have some kind of combo draw, pair flush draw.
Also, Day, like, although he's very capable of mixing it up and making bluffs, he does like to stay in line the majority of the time that I see. I mean, on any given day, you know, Day can show up a little different, but most of the time, Day's not putting his chips in there for a lot of money unless he feels very strong about his chances to win that hand.
Yep. And I mean, we could just see just the, you know, this game itself, he really hasn't played too many hands. You know, he's definitely recognized the dynamics of this table and knows that he just needs to sit back and let the game come to him.
Yeah. Because of the type, exactly, the type of game this is, you don't have to get too out of line. You can pick your great spots. You don't have to go for any marginal spots.
Alphamed says, the money is being shipped so much, man. I need to step my game up.
Oh my gosh.
And if you can get into these kind of games, they can absolutely like make your career.
Exactly. So Justin and I were just having this conversation. He was saying, what's your favorite limit to play? I said, my favorite limit to play is the whale game. Like, I mean, you chase the good games.
Yeah.
You know, it's not so much about what limit you're playing as about how good the game is. And you want to be finding these types of games. If I would have known this lineup tonight, I would have probably asked to be in the game and not in the booth. But it is really fun just to get to watch it too. I mean, I'm super enjoying this, but like you said, like, who doesn't want a piece of this action?
Right.
Justin said I'm a whale hunter. I think that is a huge compliment.
Yes. There's worse things to be. And I mean, honestly, like, if you're going to be playing, part of your skills as a player is game selection. You know, so you need to be able to, you know, get yourself into the best games, recognize good lineups, and also recruit good people to your games. You see someone walk into the room, you're like, hey, come over here, you know. And part of it is, yes, you know, you get the best games, but you also, there's a lot of these people that are the best action are real life crushers. You know, so you can get a lot of benefits by having, you know, very smart people in your network.
Yeah, make friends with these people. These are all great people, exactly like you said. Great people to know and have. A lot of businessmen who, for them, this money may not mean much to them. They're here to have fun and have a good time. When I'm on these type of tables, I like to have a good time with them. Like, let's laugh, let's joke, let's enjoy it, because we want these recreational players in the game that are here to just enjoy themselves, and they're helping to pay our mortgages, you know? Hopefully, luckily, they're not running crazy hot, which they do.
That's why you have seatbelts.
Yeah, Chris said, I played on Monday's stream and a big difference. Yes, it's a huge difference between Monday's game and tonight's game. It's a different lineup. Game selection, people. It's all about game selection if you really want to be a winning professional poker player.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are also asking about this. If you were to get in this game right now, you would not be capped to buy in for what the typical buy-in starting of $1,000. You could straight buy in for the largest stack of this table, which is getting close to 15K at this point. You can just straight buy in for 15K.
Yeah.
Not every poker room has that option available to you. Even around here in Sacramento, you can't always match stacks at other places.
Yeah. Being able to match the biggest stack at the table is huge. It's really big advantage for, you know, the better you are, the better it is for you. And because, you know, the deeper you play, your skill level gets more magnified. You know, you end up winning, you know, in kind of sicker and sicker spots just because people make worse and worse mistakes.
Right.
And those mistakes cost, you know, are much more expensive.
AC with pocket fives. He's just gonna make the call here. Sip calls. Carlin calls. Paul calls. He's gonna be called around. We're gonna go 5-way to this flop. No pairs anywhere except AC is still best here with his pocket fives. Nobody has hearts either. Also, somebody's got to be worried about. I'd like to, on that board, I think AC actually really could lead because it is a paired board. AC could bet out with his pocket fives and feel pretty confident that he may have the best hand there. At least see what's up. Now another heart comes and somebody feels like, okay, we're 5-way in. Somebody probably has hearts here. And that's probably going to slow down the action. Yeah, checks all the way around.
The 3 of hearts is going to be good if Mike can hang on.
Wow.
Yep.
Mike, the only one with hearts. He's just wait. Who rakes that pot? Because from what I saw, Mike straight folded his hand on the turn. Unless our graphics were behind, it looked like Mike just saw the A's, and when it checked around, he just mucked. And if he would have held on, his 3 of hearts would have been good. Now, I could be wrong here because sometimes our graphics and our video could have been a little bit delayed, but that's what it looked like happened. And if that's the case, then AC would have actually skipped with the pocket 5s there. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out as well.
I think that's what happened. Don't ever muck your cards until the river, until you've seen everyone else's hands.
She's not saying be a calling station.
No, I'm just saying, like, if everyone's checking,
have someone show you a winning hand.
Yeah. You never know when, like, 7 high is going to win. It happens all the time. Oh, wait, can you say that one more time?
375.
Okay. So graphics may have been off there. It looked like the deuce of hearts on the river, but may not have been a heart on the river. Paul Hillard says, if I played in this game, I'd buy in short and hope to run well.
Yeah, that, or you can, like sell some of your action, get people to like match your buy-in for and split the profits.
It's hard to buy in short at this game and see a flop.
Yeah.
Just because these pots are getting so big so fast and getting raised in 3-bet so early on that to see a flop, you may be
you're just gonna have to
paying
ship
for a large percentage of your stack.
Yep. Wait until you have ace king and just ship. And get called in 4 spots.
Soup hits 2 pair on the river to beat a better 2 pair. Beat my guesses 9s and 6s.
Really do want to get into this game.
I know, me too. I did bring my bankroll, but I don't know, like, this game will probably go on well. It will go late into the night. It'll be hard to get a seat on this table, for sure.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to win in. And it's going to go super late, and it's going to get crazier. So oftentimes, after the stream ends, the game just gets more and more wild.
Yep.
And I would love to just be on the rail, just a rail bird. Harlan raises with his ace-8 of spades. He's running again. He's on the button, and there was just everyone had checked around to him, so he decided to just go ahead and put in a raise and see if he could get everyone to fold out. Dave had ace queen though, wasn't going anywhere. Neither was Mike or Brian. And now Dave hits the nut flush draw.
Right. I mean, if I was Dave, I would have liked to see a raise, like a 3-bet pre-flop. And now I would like to, if he hasn't done that, I would like to see him check raise this board. I
feel like what the line that some of these players may be taking, like Dave in that spot, or a reason to argue, or just checking with a big hand there, is because this table is so aggressive. It's very likely that someone is going to raise behind you, and then you are going to have an option to 3-bet and likely get called, and play with it. One of your premium hands have possibly more money in the pot. I definitely would always want to raise there with ace queen with a different field of players. Against this field, I don't think it's necessarily as bad to limp with ace queen, although normally you'd say you never limp from early position in that spot ever. But I could find an argument for it.
So it looks like he was a straddle. So that's what I was thinking, like, it'd be a good time for him to, 3-bet against a late position raiser.
A 3-bet would be definitely optimal. I agree with you.
And then, if you check raise the flop here, rather than just calling, you're giving yourself more chances to win this pot. And now he's kind of in a position where he's going to get bet off his hand.
Is he going to lay it down? Dave is not going to chase the draw. Wow. Harlan's going to take it down there with the ace-8. Nice way to continue the aggression, Harlan. We saw Harlan just take a pretty bad loss with his ace-10, but whereas a lot of people, it would shut them down mentally and keep them from continuing to drive the action or being so aggressive. Harlan's not scared. He's continuing to push and be aggressive.
Right. And Harlan's used to his style.
Yeah.
He goes through swings. That's why he gets paid, so much. And he's another one of those players to completely run up a huge stack. So if you're going to play that style, you got to have some pretty good mental fortitude.
Right. Zagnut says, this is a 5-5 game?
Yeah.
Yes, this has been the talk of the night here. This is a 5-5 game, kind of. I mean, I haven't seen it ever go 5-5, to a flop. It's playing huge. It's a huge game at this point.
There's 4 or 5 players on this table that if even just one of them were on the table, the game is amazing.
Right.
And then you have this many of them,
at least 4 players on this table.
Yeah.
That are
you table
extremely
change
good
to.
spots.
Yes.
Yeah. Zagnut says he doesn't know how the stacks got so big. So it's our understanding that they actually, you were telling me, they did flips.
Yeah, so my understanding was in the very beginning of the game, a couple of players weren't in love with the idea that it was only $1,000 buy-in. They're expecting to play much bigger. So they just did flips for $1,000 to build up a stack and then match that.
And then to be able to match the stack, because these people's heart rate doesn't get up unless they're playing for like 10K or something like that. So so they started doing flips, got the stack sizes up. Some of our more aggressive players got into some really big pots, like 10K pot between, I believe it was Bill and Mike S. got into a 10K pot. Soon as Bill won that hand, Mike S. instantly reached in and pulled out another 10K to match Bill's stack. Then we saw another huge pot develop between Day and, was it Day and Harlan? Yeah, Day and Harlan, another huge pot between them. The other players aren't wanting to get left behind here. Some of them feel like they have an advantage at this table, and because of that, you always want to be able to match stacks. So that's how we got here. That's how we have over 50K on the table.
And it does look like Mike has left the game. And we'll see who takes his place. Oh no, he's there. I think. I will see. So I was playing at a table earlier with Brian and a couple people that were on the list for this game. So they were kind of talking about, if they got in, and I thought one of them was first up on the list, but I don't see him in the game.
So somebody, Softball, said that they remembered me mentioning that I'd read some books and what would they recommend. He just purchased a couple of books. So I have read quite a few books, but these days what I really recommend is studying online. It can be much more interactive and keep your, in this age, it can keep you much more interested. I mean, I love to read too, so it also really depends on what stakes you're playing. If you're playing some of the smaller stakes, I just recently was reading, Jonathan Little was here, and I was reading his books. He specializes in these lower stake games, and he has a very analytical mind, a very thoughtful mind behind it, much more analytical than my own mind, and it's great to be able to get that whole side of it and really analyze and break it down. He also has quizzes and questions to find out like where you're at, where your skill level is currently at, and to help you realize what to do in different spots. So I really enjoyed his book on the smaller stakes. And then his new book is for like all levels of play. So like even if you have been playing for a long time or play higher stakes. But I would recommend just subscribing to like Crush Live Poker is a great one. I also did Red Chip Poker is another great site that really helped improve my game. I specifically chose those two because a lot of the online training sites you're going to find are geared towards online play. And if you are playing in the casino and playing live poker, you want to be making sure your training is geared towards live play. So I'd say Crush Live or Red Chip. Then you might have a suggestion here as well. But Doug Polk's
Run It Up.
Run It Up, not Run It Up. Hold on, I use it. Upswing.
Thank you.
Upswing. They've just added a great addition to mix if you want to do mixed games. They've got a great mixed games, online studying, and it is for advanced thinking about poker.
Right.
So that would be after you've done the other ones, then I would do that one.
Yeah, and then Jonathan Little also takes a lot of the videos from here and breaks them down on his site. So, you can kind of get additional breakdown from videos that you already watched, so you have your thoughts about kind of what you saw like in game, as it's happening, and then you can now watch his video and where it goes into a little bit more detail and what his thoughts and various options that everybody had to them.
Right. Agreed.
Another good book is Easy Game by Blue Goel. He was an online crusher for a long time, but transferred to live, and it's a very good way to approach the game, like in the ways you should thinking about it. So.
I feel like a lot of the older books out there, while they're always worth a read just for like the history of poker, I feel like poker is such an evolving game.
Right.
And where we're at in poker today is not where we're going to be at in poker 5 or 10 years from now. And it's definitely not where we were at 10, 20, 30, or 40 years from now, ago. So it definitely is evolving, and it's important to stay on top of what's happening now so that you can not only know what everyone else is doing, but also how to take advantage of that, flip it on its head, and maybe be creative and even do something new to take advantage of what everyone else is doing.
Yep. Yeah, totally agree. I think the best thing you could do for yourself, a lot of people when they learn about poker or want to learn about poker, they want to learn like, what's a system? Tell me what to do. And really what you want to do is learn how to think. Because if you're able to figure out how to think, how to incorporate your information, then you are going to be successful like all the time when you play.
Right.
If you're just a straight like, well, what do you do with the flush draw? What do you do with this? You're not really going to excel. Mm-hmm. So I think
be very multidimensional in your thought process and approaching the game. And what limit you're choosing makes such a huge difference as well, because you're definitely not going into a 1-3 or a 1-2 game at all the same way you're going into like a larger game like 5-5 or 5-10. Right. They play completely different. The players that you're playing against think about the game completely different. So don't go read a book on 1-2 or 1-3 and then go try to sit down at a 5-5 game with more advanced level players and expect to be profitable.
And nothing beats experience. You just got to be at the table and play.
Great question.
All right. Bill flops a set, turns a boat, but the problem for Bill is nobody has an ace. How does that happen? Everybody plays ace something, and then when he finally has
he only
ace
makes $7,
and he's got to think that ace on the turn is so amazing, because anybody now that has trip aces is going to pay Wild Man Bill off.
Right. Day is getting hot. The hoodie's coming off. We're seeing some guns here. If I just won over however much he just won, probably be sweating too.
I mean, it's a lot of work stacking all this chips.
So we see a couple people eating some dinner here. Breakfast for dinner, it looks like, for Bill. Soup's dining as well. Our food here is super amazing. You guys, people come here just to eat the food. Yep. It's fantastic. Also, it's always interesting to see how people play when they're eating, they generally play tighter. They want to fold unless they really have a hand. So I'd like to see how that happens here. Now Bill H, he flops the top pair with his ace-jack.
And Harlan with the 2 pair. And I think, you're going to see Harlan
How do you like
check
that?
raise pretty big. Being out of position, bottom 2 pair. He does not want to get counterfeit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Bill's going to continue when Harlan raises.
Harlan just checked.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So he lets Bill H do his betting for him. Now, yeah, Harlan definitely doesn't want to let any more checking go by. He wants to take the lead here and set the price. I would choose a large sizing against someone like Bill H, especially because if Bill H has a hand like he does, like top pair, he's not going anywhere. So go ahead and make a pot size bet.
Yeah.
That's fine, which he does. He chooses almost a pot size bet, which I really like. I think Bill H is definitely going to call here and feel good about it.
Well, he's on that fence though. And Bill says, okay.
I think he was may have been.
Maybe think about raising?
Maybe. I would be really shocked to see him thinking about folding in that spot to Harlan with top pair, top kicker. There was no straights out there, no flush yet. Now the flush comes. This could be Bill's chance to get away from it because a king comes and it's also a diamond. And Bill H looks super suspicious. What sizing did he choose? He bets 1.2K. Bill H makes the call. Yeah. Nice job, Harlan.
Getting some back. I said in this game, you get a chance.
Yeah.
You
I
get
think
it back.
he could have even gone larger, probably a little larger on the river, but it was fine to be a little conservative there too because so many other cards did get there, or the flush got there and that sort of thing. Bill H could have been chasing a flush, and he wanted to make sure he wasn't about to get like check raised all in, that type of thing. So,
Right.
But yeah, definitely nice pot, Harlan. Like to see it. Life Insurance Larry wants to know if we played Limit Hold'em at all. What about you? How about you? Do you play Limit Hold'em very much?
No, I almost never do. When I first started playing and kind of learning the game, I played 3-6 and that kind of thing. But all right, where's the sub?
I'll blow you a kiss if I get that sub. Cody says if I give him a big smile, he's going to subscribe. Well, that smile was all for you. Still waiting. He's probably already subscribed a long time ago. What a tease.
Bill flops a gut shot, but he needs Brian's 10s to get there.
What's up, Fair Oaks manager? EJK wants to know, is Matt the best player at Stones? You're talking about Matt Holtzclaw?
He's one of them.
It's one of those. That's one of those questions that's like so too ambiguous. Like, how can you really say who's the best player? He's an excellent player.
Yeah.
One of the top players in Sacramento for sure. I haven't even seen the subscribe yet, so you ain't getting nothing. I gave you a big smile. I still haven't seen the subscribe. Waiting. You must have a delay. He says, I'm a man of my word. Did you see these pop up? It pops up right here, right?
It pops up on our main screen.
Must be a delay. And Life Insurance Larry also, I don't play a lot of Limit Hold'em. I know how to play Limit. I've studied some Limit since I started commentating. Specifically, I started working on a lot of my mixed games and Limit games because I wanted to be able to be more knowledgeable. I also started sitting down and playing a little bit of them. But I'm a no Limit Hold'em girl. stick with what I know and love, but I am currently working on those. And right now they've got Run It Up Reno going on with a lot of mixed games as well.
Yeah, I used to play a decent amount of like horse, back when like online was a thing. And like I just love non-Hold'em games. I mean, Hold'em's my game, my favorite game for sure. But it is really nice to just get out of the box and think of some other.
Has a boat, he had a set, and AC makes the call with just ace queen. Now AC feels even better about it because now he's got 2 pair, and Bill H goes all in. AC feels like, okay, 2 pair, and I have the ace high.
I think AC's getting a little frustrated. He's been,
and Bill H knows his play here. He says, "I'm gonna move all in."
But and like I said, AC has just been sitting, kind of watching all this chaos happen, and he hasn't had anything.
Oh, he is reaching for chips. He doesn't actually have a ton behind him. How much does AC have? There's already 2.6K in this pot.
About 9, if those are stacks of 200.
Oh, he lets it go.
And Bill will show you. You don't always have to call to see Bill's hand.
Nice. Nice man there. Good guy. JFK, let us know if a Mr. Cody Silver's newly subscribed. He's promising that he did. We haven't seen it pop up yet. He's waiting on... Nope. Naughty, naughty, Cody.
Giving away your smile so easily.
My smile's free all day, any day, to anybody.
And AC finally picks up a hand, calls the 15.
And he's probably wishing he had re-added on before this hand started, so he could try to take advantage of one of his premium, with this premium holding.
And then the Limp-re-raise.
Eric's wants to know, why is AC limping with ace-queen suited? We've seen some of the players taking this really super conservative line when they're in a fairly early position, expecting with these super aggressive players behind them to raise and then them try to put in a 3-bet. I think the lead there is still best because you're likely still going to get called by these players and can still build your pot after, but we have seen that a few times tonight, and I think that's their thinking.
And I think, exactly, AC's, kind of been short stacking, hasn't really had much, so he's just looking for spots just to shove and get it in.
Right.
What, Bri? What's up, man?
What's up, what, Bri? He's in Vegas. Vegas, baby, Vegas. Where are you staying in Vegas?
Magic Man.
Magic. What's up, Magic Man?
Sasha gets blessed with a real hand in this game. Now he's just got to see if he can make it hold up.
Sasha has aces here. He raises to 70. Soup's gonna call with the ace-8 under the gun +2. I think an ace-8 could just probably be a fold here. Pocket 5s for Bill H. He's definitely going to be in there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things you really start to see in these kind of games is, people are like, I don't understand how I lost so much, I don't remember playing any big hand, but no, you played every hand, and they're all worth a ton of money.
Bill H hits another set against Sasha's aces. We are going to see some fireworks here. This is a rainbow flop. No straight out there yet, possible. Sasha has pocket aces, but Bill H has a set of 5s because Bill H is on fire.
Yes. Now, I think this is a really good thing to take note is Sasha checked the flop.
He did.
This multi-way, this deep, you want to exhibit a little pot control because this is another spot where getting 3 streets of value.
Well, and he's with 5, or he's playing 6-handed.
Exactly. You know, most people.
So
you know,
and now we've got an open. Oh, a straight for AC. Now AC has a straight. Wow, you guys. And if Harlan hits a 7, he'll have the better straight. Sasha lets go of the aces because Sasha is a boss. He's a crusher.
Really good play. And he would have even made a set on the river.
He would have hit a set and it still would have been no good.
But he would have won a huge side pot from Bill.
He would have won a huge side pot. But you see him looking at it like, oh my god.
I mean, it was the correct fold. That was really well played by Sasha.
Wow.
And that's not being results oriented that, you know, someone flopped sets. In that situation, you know, you probably don't want to get 3 streets of value against that many players.
Wow.
Rick and Laughlin, get back home. Nobody knows you there.
It was not a bomb. What's up, Asmati? Good to see you.
What's up, Asmati?
He's at the Flamingo. Wow. Sasha's my new idol. Folding aces there, just like a boss. And checking flop there.
Oh.
Man, I wish I had the turn to 7. 29. Raised 125.
I feel like we should listen in here with some of this after such a big pot here. Definitely. And Sasha's just quiet. He's just quiet, just taking it in.
Were you in there for the turn? Did you see the turn?
Flush draw now for Bill H. Soup's got queens. Queens full. He gets the check mark. He's gonna bet out like 315, 420. And Bill ends to fold when he doesn't hit.
And welcome, Mr. Win.
Hello, Win.
Yep.
Yes, please subscribe and like so that you always get notified whenever we go live. This is a crazy 5-5 game. We've got 12.7K for the largest stack, but several other players, you know, right behind him with like over 10K. It's been super exciting, just action everywhere. So fun to watch and commentate.
And the great thing about this is everybody that's in this game is a regular to the streams. You know, so they bring this kind of action all the time. Like every stream is an amazing stream.
Yeah, we know all of these players because they're always on here, and this is literally a 5-5 game that's playing like 10-25.
Yeah.
We also had a jackpot hit tonight as well, for you guys who weren't here earlier, for like over 35K. One of the tables hit a jackpot here. One of our other, I think it may have been a 1-2, either a 1-2.
I think that's a 1-2
table.
game.
Yeah, 1-2 game. The loser got like 15K. Thank you, KJ R. Lunar. Kings for Dave. Sasha with the ace-10. He raises it up to 205. He's in the big blind.
So I'm not a big fan of Dave just over limping on the button there. You know, by that point, you could look at who's in the blinds. You do have, some more tight players, at least the way they've been playing today. So you can't really count on them raising that often. So a lot of times you're going to put yourself in a position of seeing a multi-way pot, with a really good hand. Yeah, you got position, but you're losing a ton of value.
Right.
And then this, he raises, everyone just folds. Just raise your hand as it is. Quit trying to be, so sneaky.
Yeah, because when no one hit it on the flop, they all fold, but pre-flop,
Right.
you might have gotten a little bit more action.
Right.
Okay, KJ. I'll just go with KJ.
And so we have the Stones Spring Classic coming up April 13th through the 22nd. A $250,000 total prize pool.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a ton of good commentators. Lex Valhus, Jason Somerville, Enjanimi, Kevin Martin, and they're going to be in the booth, like I said, giving some really high level commentating. We're going to have, a lot of people coming to this stream.
Yeah, an 150K tournament towards that last weekend, like the 21st, 22nd. There's going to be a huge 150K tournament. It's going to be really fun. Lots of fun events going on throughout that whole time. Bloggers are going to be running around everywhere. Great personalities, fun to watch, easy to talk to, and have a lot of knowledge. So come on down. It's going to be a great time to be at Stones.
Day flops open in a straight flush draw.
Jenna White just turned in. What's up, Jenna? She said 5-5 gone wild. That's right, girl. This game has been insane. They started out doing flips for $1,000 and just to be able to get the stack sizes up. And then we saw a huge pot between Bill and Mike for over 10K. Another huge pot against Day and Harlan for a similar amount. Players instantly rebuying to match it. It's been amazing. It's been
great
amazing.
game. Every single hand has been about 3K every pot.
Asmani!
And we do have a royal flush.
We do have a royal flush. Day has a royal flush. He's going to get to spin the wheel. The thing is, AC also has the straight, so...
But no heart.
But no heart. Wow.
Yeah.
Today is Day's day.
Yes. Now, it's always nice to, have a royal flush, have this kind of hand, but you also need to realize you're probably just not going to get paid off very much. There's just... Because, wow, what can someone have? Is someone...
How much does he bet here on the river? What sizing does she? The pot had $530 in it. And he bets 900, so he overbets the pot. Trying to make it look bluffy, or to get, really hoping that AC has a heart.
Right.
Something that's going to pay him off. AC smart, he lets it go. Day's going to turn that over and show the straight flush, I'm sure. Yep, he does. Calling over the floor.
And we're going to get shaky cam here in a little bit.
Love.
Day gets to spin the wheel.
Yeah, Paul Hillard says, Royals are cool, but hard to make money with them. That's a lot easier when you have two of the cards in your hand than one of the cards, that's for sure.
Right.
How many royal flushes have you had?
One.
Yeah, I've only had one, and it was on online micro stakes. It was like a $9 pot.
Yeah.
I've lost to a
Not
royal
easy to
flush multiple times.
So 13K, 10.4K, 9.1K, 7.3K, 7K, 5.6. Our small stack has 2.3.
Right.
Usually the max buy-in for these games is 1,000.
Yeah, almost 500 bigs to the small stack.
Wow. 500 bigs for the small stack. That's crazy.
Deep play.
9-3-6. Harlan could have hit at 8 for a straight. Day is best with top pair. Now AC can hit the queen for the straight. And Day's still best with his nines. Let's see, he's in check calling mode, and he's got showdown value here. He just wants to get to showdown. AC goes ahead and leads out for 125. I think that Day will call. No.
Yeah. See, it's tough having Harlan behind him, but
He go ahead and he lays down the best hand.
Right.
Now Harlan's one that would likely call here.
see the thing with you got to think if you're in Day's spot, it's like sure you do have Harlan behind you, but once you check the turn, you know, to Harlan and he doesn't bet, it's unlikely that he has a better hand. Once it's been checked on the turn, you know, from Harlan and Day to AC and he doesn't bet,
They both fold.
yeah, it seems unlikely that AC really has a hand. So I think Day, even though you have Harlan behind you, it's a pretty strong case just to you know,
Just to
to
call the way
there.
that hand played out for
Right.
sure. They both fold and Jack High takes it down. Aggression in poker can win if you choose the right time.
Aggression
AC
and
did-
position.
Yeah, well-timed aggression there. Magic Man says spin the wheel, spin the wheel.
Texas Ranger, what's going on? And Pharaohson, I can't pronounce your name.
Is that a bet?
All right, King Jack for Brian. Top two.
And Harlan with backdoors.
He's
or
gonna
needs runner
lead.
runners.
That's at 125. Brian is going nowhere.
Yeah, I think this is a coordinated enough board that Brian go for a raise here. And unless Harlan really decides to get sick with his hand and put in a
Yeah,
four bet
what
or
was
three
Brian's
bet.
raise that he chose?
I think it was about 400.
Okay. Yeah, he can't call. Harlan definitely can't
Yeah.
call.
Yeah, I mean he would have just had to run an absolute, you know, crazy
Oh, there's
bluff
the
and-
shake. There's the wheel spin there. Yep, Day just spun the wheel. I just saw Day out of his chair spinning the wheel.
And it's still spinning.
Yep.
Yes. We are not having technical difficulties. The every time you get a royal flush, you're able to spin a board for various spin a wheel for various prizes, and that's connected to a pole that's connected to kind of where all of our cameras and everything are. You know, so it just kind of shakes the whole camera. It's- And sometimes you have people just walk by and spin the wheel, and it, you know,
And
we get
shake.
to deal
We
with
get
the
the
shake
shake
for a while.
here. You guys, subscribe, like, get in the game, get notified whenever we go live. We're streaming Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, sometimes Sundays. You don't want to miss out on this. This game is crazy. If you guys haven't already seen or noticed, this game is insane. I think Sasha is feeling like maybe it's just not his night.
Unless-
Seen
is
him
he
take
moving
some bad
seats?
Or yeah, he may just be moving seats, looks like.
Every once in a while, you get to have a
Let's say
table
at least-
shuffle. Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would be really surprised to see Sasha lead with this lineup the way it is.
Right. That's actually a really good seat change for him as well. So one of the things, you know, that you want to try to do when you're sitting at a table is you want to have the crazy people to your right, the tight people to your left.
Right.
You know, because then it's like you have the button, you have position multiple times in a row, you have more opportunity to, you know, play hands in position against players that you think you have an advantage over.
So Brian hits a set of jacks. He's up against Bill H. It says Bill H, but it shows Soup Soup's picture because that's the Soup Soup was in.
And quads.
Now he hits quads because that's just how we've been going tonight. Check, check. Option here now. No more checking for Brian, hopefully. He does. He checks it. Against a player like Bill, you really want to be leading out. So you really want to be leading out and choosing a larger bet sizing because Bill is gonna will call you in with marginal holdings often.
Yep.
So he had pocket eights there, and you likely could have gotten a little bit more out of him, possibly. There was a flush draw out there. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate that. Yeah, royal flush, bad beat, 10K in pots, and quads now, you know, just for a little extra fun.
Just to mix it up. I know.
And now that everyone's all moved around, I think maybe we're ready to play some more poker.
There was last time somebody moved. I blame Sasha. That's my fault.
So it looks like this hand was not straddled, which is one of the first times I've seen the hand not straddled. It was Dave's straddle option. Three-way, four-way. Let's see. We don't know what way we're going. Not
I
yet.
mean, we're not used to seeing heads-up pots.
No.
So.
Cody says, "You look dashing, Chris. Don't think no one noticed.
Aw.
We noticed you."
Well, thank you.
And Rick had said that he loves Jenna's dealing, but she's never dealt him a bad beat. She said, "You gotta give me more than one chance."
We do need more Rick and Barstow on the stream. Bill H. Limps 20 with a Bill type of hand for sure.
Did you see it?
No, I'm gonna say 8-3 of like clubs, something like that.
I'm gonna go with Jack 9.
Jack 9?
Jack 9 off.
Okay. I feel like he might even raise that hand. No. 4 deuce.
You were closer. You were much closer.
But you, at least you had the offsuit.
Nobody has much of anything, but Dave hits Jack. AC hits his 8.
Is Dave really calling Jack deuce? 80.
I mean, he was in the big blinds. It was 15 more, and there was 3 players already in there, so
Maybe?
60 already money in the pot for him to call 15. I mean, it's still Jack deuce off, but that was what he was thinking.
I was just wondering if maybe the graphics are
I don't want to murder your name, but Tan, we are live Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, sometimes Sundays. And if you hit the subscribe button on the YouTube, you'll get notified whenever we go live. And you'll also get me to blow you a kiss. So I'll get notified if you subscribe. So go ahead and do that now. And you'll always get notified whenever we go live. Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, though, for sure.
Yep. From 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific.
Mr. Win. Hit the subscribe. And AC is going to take it down. I did see Molly's game, Mr. Hillard. It's a good movie, good poker movie for sure.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, definitely a good movie. Is it still even out in theaters?
I think it was almost gone from theaters when I saw it.
Oh, yeah, because it's been out for a while.
You are very welcome, Mr. Wynn. Sasha has ace queen on the button, raising to 125.
And Harlan flops 2 pair again.
The same hand. I think he had 3-4 last time when he flopped 2 pair.
Yeah, he did. But that time he was suited, I think.
This is his
Or no, was
new
it
favorite hand.
2-4?
It may have been 2-4, but I thought it was
Either
opposite.
way, you might be right.
I like his speed poker.
Anybody need service?
Yeah, Texas asked if there's more tables going on than the one that we're streaming. Yeah, there's about 20-something tables in this room, and right now we probably have about an additional 10 or 11 games.
Yeah,
in
we
that
have
range,
the
so.
room is popping off. There's a lot of games going on right now. Yeah, lots of games running.
And I think they had a private, like home game style tournament earlier.
Oh, really?
Just before our stream started, they just started bringing out plates of food, like 30 plates of food over to not like 9 players. It was like a little buffet style that they had over there.
Nice. Bill has 3 aces now. And Day has a queen high flush draw, a Sub the lower flush draw.
And Sub hasn't really been running too well, today, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him get real aggressive with his hand. King and diamonds on the
There's
turn.
so many clubs already gone though. I mean,
Right.
as you can see, Bill has one, and Day's got it, Sub. It,
Be bad timing
less
for that.
likely that it's going to come out, but it still could. We still have clubs in the deck. Bill H is just calling here. And there the club comes. So now Day is best. And Sub has a little baby flush here. Let's see what sizing he takes. There's 545 in the pot.
So about
See what
325 or
sizing.
so? No.
He chose like a 2/3
Yeah.
pot size bet, which is exactly what I would have liked to see from him, to get a call from one of these smaller flushes. And Sub is generally a smart man. He definitely won't raise here. Yeah, he's gonna just make the call. And
Bill
H is gonna lay it down. He took a real conservative line on this hand and really let those flush draws see those extra cards very inexpensively. I feel like he could have taken a much more aggressive approach. Maybe it would have worked, maybe it wouldn't, but at least make those flush draws pay and get some value out of those flush draws, because more often than not, it's going to hit less often than or it's not going to hit less as much as it's going to hit. So, you're going to win more often than not there. And I would have liked to see him make them pay to catch it, or maybe they would have folded and he would have won that pot there.
And Day's just running well. He hasn't won a ton of pots, but the pots he's won have been, even for this game, worth it.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Harlan raises the ace-3 to 75. Dave calls with the king-jack suited. Day calls with the king-queen suited. Sub 3 bets to 420 with the jacks. And Bill's just not going to fold to queen 10. I think, you know, if you're looking for another way to exit some hands without losing the maximum, you know, folding hands like queen 10s to 3-bets, or, you know, especially queen 10 offsuit from early position is a good hand to hold. And Day decides to donk bet into Soup Sue.
Okay, you guys take all the numbers
Soup Soup's going to see if he can raise Day off of a marginal queen or a flush draw, and it works. Gets Day off the best hand. And I think that's a good job of turning your hand into a bluff and just getting some marginal hands off. Yeah, we have a little discussion about people talking about donk bets. You know, there's a lot of reasons people donk bet. What you got to figure out is, what does donk bet mean from the player that's doing it? Some people donk bet weak, some people donk bet strong, some just do it with draws. So, you know, knowing your player type and then responding appropriately is kind of the key there. And so it looks like Dave may donk bet kind of weak, or what he perceives to be weak, and so if you're against him, maybe you can mix in some raises and get him to fold some pretty strong hands.
Chips on 11.
And Soup Soup and Harlan both flop top pair. And Harlan is going to raise with the Jack 8. AC is going to call this open-ended backdoor flush draw, but does not get what he's looking for. So I expect, yeah, unless this pot went checked around, which it did, he would be folding on the turn. And Harlan, I think, is probably going to check back here. You know, he does have top pair on the flop showdown, but he will be outkicked. Yeah, I think Day, you know, wanted to donk bet there just to kind of, probably didn't want to overcommit himself to that hand. He was worried about Soup Soup just kind of getting a little aggressive, running bad. Knows that he might have to play that top pair for, you know, for all of Soup Soup's stacks. So I think he just kind of decided to cut his potential losses there.
I didn't want to miss anything. What did I miss?
We had Day flop top pair in a 3-bet pot, out of position, you know, in the small blind with king queen, and Soup Soup had jacks, and
What was
Day,
top pair on the board?
a queen.
Okay.
So he had a queen with a king on a pretty dry board, and he decided to donk into Soup Soup. Soup Soup then raised and actually got Day to fold. So we're thinking, maybe he's just kind of not wanting to play for basically
Because he's
all
already
suits
won
and
so
stack,
much already. That's what we were talking about earlier. You can get into like protect my winnings mode if you've like had a good night. But if you are in that shutdown mode, it's time to get up and go. Yeah. But you know, sometimes I've seen Soup play really conservative on certain streams. So maybe Day just felt like he was beat there. But
Right.
do you have top pair, top kicker?
He had top pair second kicker. There we go.
That's for you, Was that Cody?
Not sure.
It finally showed up. If that was your subscribe, finally showed up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, like I said, if you're at a point where you feel like you're starting to protect your stacks, you just got to go. Because you're going to be so frustrated losing anything.
Right.
Yeah, it's just better to leave.
Right, and yeah, someone in the chat was talking about this, like, donk bet, what do you mean by that? Like, he had the best hand. What he means is that he was betting out from earlier position against the original raiser.
Yeah. So, and it's usually more like you're if you didn't say out of position.
Yeah,
Did you say that?
I said in front. I don't know exactly what I said, but yeah, you're in earlier position, so you're like first to act, or you're earlier to act than the pre-flop raiser.
And we have new player Casper sitting in hijack with Jack 2, so he has been probably watching the stream, seeing the ridiculousness, and just is eager to get into any kind of hand that he possibly can. And Bill H with the kings. Yeah, I think Sasha needs to continue betting here
night,
out of
Rick.
position. All right, Rick, see you later.
You said you think Sasha needs to continue to bet?
Yeah, from out of position, I think he with the flush draw he still has equity, but yeah, if he checks, he can kind of allow Bill now to maybe just take the lead and bet him
get
off
him
of his
off of
hand.
it.
Yeah.
Sasha checks. Bill H checks behind because of the ace, I think, is what scared Bill.
Yeah.
And he decided to check behind.
That's a good check. Once somebody calls flop, calls turn, especially if you bet kind of big on the turn, they're probably not folding brick rivers.
Stone says that was at Colby Jet. Thank you for the subscribe on Twitch. We appreciate it. It's a blown kiss and sometimes a shoulder shake. From Chris.
Yes.
Because that's you guys. I know you guys. That's you from.
Yeah.
They slow rolled my subscribe because I'm conservative, Cody says. Looks like Dave may be checking out. I also saw that we had a new player come to the table. I don't know if he showed up. Yep, Casper, there he is. We saw Casper on Monday night stream slaughter the field. Like, he just basically won all the money on the table. He was running like God and playing like Jesus, and it was really fun to watch. He ran up a huge stack the game was nothing like this. It wasn't near as aggressive or insane. I see a seat open, and I'm just wanting to go sit down and play. So I'm hoping.
Is there still a seat open?
Well, I just saw Dave leave, and Casper
Someone
sat down. So I'm hoping.
I looked a few minutes ago, and that
I need
seat
to go
was
put my
taken.
name on the list. I need to go put my name.
We can also do it from the Stones Live app.
Let me just pull out my little trusty iPhone 10 and add my name to the list from my Stones Live app.
Yep.
Good call.
let's see. So AC with the overpair. Supsu decides to bet out his sevens. I mean, it's a decent board for your sevens. You know, especially when it's checked to you. You got to think that it's good. Although it's a little interesting that AC is taking such a slow line with his jacks, you know, from early position.
Looks like they have 4 people waiting for that game already. I'm 5th on the list. Yeah, everyone wants in this game. Yeah, I do sell some action. I do sometimes, from time to time.
Yeah, crazy games. It's a good idea.
Yeah, totally. Paul Hillard giving you some props.
Thank you, Pollard. Appreciate it.
Ace Queen for Brian, but he can't hit that jack because AC has the jack. Jacks are still best here. Brian bets out 450. It's going to be 450 for jacks to call, and
he made the call.
He made the call. Good call.
Yep.
Like it.
Yeah, Cody says, you know, it's a bummer that the king might kill all AC's action, which it did, but he also took a very passive line with jacks in that hand. And when you have, especially hands like 10s, jacks, you know, you're really, it's always kind of hard to play those, especially from out of position. But those are hands that, you know, you do need to play a little bit more aggressively when you're out of position. You know, you can't take a really passive line and let like ace kings, ace queens, you know, those kind of hands hit, you know, because there's just too many overcards that are going to be coming.
I see Casper putting in a raise here.
Yes.
So we're going to see how Casper plays jacks in comparison to how we just saw AC play them. He's going to go. What was AC's raise pre-flop? Do you know? I love to compare different styles.
Yeah.
So Casper raises to 130. I know he took a more conservative approach.
Right. I think he was like about 125 range.
Okay, so similar initial bet sizing. Now we have a pretty uncoordinated board, only one overcard. This is a great chance for him to continue. He's in the pot with 2 fairly known to be loose aggressive players that would call off with a second pair type hand. Harlan does have second pair, and Casper bet 225. There was what was about a 2/3 size pot size bet, and now Casper, when a second overcard comes, he slows down. He wants to exert some pot control here. Now 2 overcards to his king. Harlan checks behind. Once he gets the check behind, he could feel better about it, but the board's just gotten a little scarier and scarier right now. There's straights that have completed, and Casper's good to just take down this $875 pot and get to showdown. So Harlan checks as well, and Casper's going to take it down.
Yeah, and it's a good check back by Harlan as well, because he does have a little bit of showdown value.
Yeah.
And, you know, Casper is not folding the jacks there most likely.
Right.
You know, unless he like really bombs. You know.
Yeah, I think you would have needed to. Harlan would have needed to start telling that story on the turn in order to get Casper to lay down those jacks on the river.
Yep. And I mean, Casper really doesn't have enough either to fold. If he calls the turn bet, he's not going to fold the river.
How much does Casper put on the table?
He looks like he has a little over 1,000 starting the hand.
Okay. Yeah, so he's doing what some of the players are going to do is with this lineup is what they were kind of talking about earlier, which is to buy in short and see if you can catch some cards and get lucky. Just the way this game's been playing out, it can be difficult to just play many hands or see many flops that way because it's been getting so aggressive early. But definitely with this lineup, I mean, take any shot you can take, I feel like.
Yeah. Make a couple hands. That's all it takes. Tank, what's going on?
Tank?
Last year he was trying to be more gangster. I'm not sure what he's trying to be this year. Just changing his name, I guess. Tank, you've missed a crazy show.
Completely agree with what you said.
Crazy show.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
need
you gotta
to
go back and watch this.
Yeah.
This game, this 5-5 game has been insane.
Microwave some popcorn, get on the recliner, pull a blanket over your legs, whatever you want to drink.
Tank says, this year I'm just trying to be a better me, hitting the stream grind hard and living life 1/4 mile at a time.
That's all you can do.
I like it.
Easy, Toretto. With the quick fingers from Dondo. Harlan flops a set.
I know, Mr. Win, that's what we were saying. That's what we're saying, like, this game is crazy. It does feel like a 25-50.
And we have our second quads of the night.
Quad 6 is for Harlan. Soup's got the queen. No hearts for anyone. It's going to probably keep Harlan from getting max value here. Because there's an overpair and 3 hearts on the board.
Yeah, we just need a queen
An
on the river.
overcard to his queen.
When was the last time we've had royal flush, quads?
Harlan's like, please have a heart.
Right?
Please have a heart. So Soup called the 225. Now he checked. There's 1.4K in the pot. Let's see Harlan's sizing here. He bets 725. About 2/3 pot. And Soup makes a quick fold. Hey, Hollywood guy, what's up?
I feel like Sue's been running bad enough today that the queen should have came. You know, it's just like one of those days, it will all go wrong.
Yep, sometimes it just runs like that.
Yes, it does. Months run like that.
It's true. Variance can be a long, drawn-out thing.
It's a tough thing. It's like you try your best to maintain perspective, you know, it's like all you really are is surfing the wave of variance, you know, and the best players just surf it better than others.
True that. Manage it better. Manage their mindset and their psychology better.
Yeah.
Know when it's time to go down limits.
Yeah. If you're taking this game seriously, you also need to study, put in work on your mental game.
Huge. Biggest leak in the game. Tilt and ego.
Man, they're real things. And they don't get you money.
Ghost of M says, some decades are like that.
True that.
Soup with Ace King, he just calls. Brian with the 4-5 says, you know, you've got Ace King, you're gonna call. I've got 4-5, I'm gonna raise to 125. I'd like to see Soup put in a 3-bet here now.
Did he? I think he grabbed a bunch of...
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
So that was his plan the whole time. We've seen that several times tonight. We're against this aggressive lineup, the more conservative players sometimes limping with their stronger hands, hoping to be able to 3-bet. He did. It gets down to Brian and he.
Yeah, and I think, you know, this is a really good board for him to continue bet.
Absolutely.
And you can just size down, like say if you had aces in this situation, you might bet third pot, you know, so you can bet third pot here as well.
Yeah, and Brian might not quite be a believer, but it's hard to continue with this 800 bet, or with this, after this $800 bet, whenever you've been 3-bet on the flop. But because of the way the board is, 2 9s, still might not, you may be suspicious, but you still can't really call. counts. Dave with over 12.9K, Harlan 7.5, Bill H 6.2, Soup 4.8, Sasha 4.5. Big stacks on this table.
Yes. The tiniest stack is tiny with 1.5K. 500, you know, or, yeah, 300 bigs.
What's up, Renee? Rennie? Salinas? Says Soup looks like an undercover secret agent planted here to be able to respond quickly to the capital or something. Just saying. He does look like a secret agent. I can totally see that.
He's on a stakeout. AC with Jaxie, and let's see if he plays Jax differently in position versus out of position. So far, he's just calling.
On the button he just called. Would have liked to see him put in a raise and build himself a pot. Now with this low board, let's see what he's going to choose to do. Sasha checks.
Looks
He's
like
going
about
to bet out.
75.
He bets 16. Sasha's going to lay it down. Nice fold, Sash.
Now we're coming into our home stretch here.
Yeah.
Last about 10 minutes or so, and we'll see if we can't set a new high mark for big pots.
Yeah.
What was it? Well, 12K, a little over 12K.
12K pot. Another
So,
10K
we need
pot.
13,
like 2 other 10K
14K.
pots.
How much does Day have now? Is he about 15?
I thought he had like 12 something. Was what it said. Maybe it was 14.7 maybe.
Or we'll have to relook.
Yes.
Because we did say in the beginning that someone's going to have a 15K stack.
Right. And definitely getting there. Getting very close to there. Casper with ace queen from the small blind. He raises to 130. Bill H says, I want to play. Makes the call. Casper does hit the top pair. Bill H doesn't have much working here, so I don't see Casper being able to get much. It's a very uncoordinated board. I wouldn't have actually minded him just going ahead and checking back. And seeing against a player like Bill H, if he could get Bill H to bluff at the pot, that probably would have been optimal for him.
My problem, Bill doesn't bluff a ton. He's more of a caller, a very light
That's
caller. So I think
He'll call super light, but he doesn't bluff.
So you
a
can
lot.
either check, you know, to let him try to catch a little extra piece of it, or like kind of what you did, kind of bet small to see, you know, if he does have like some kind of straight draw, middle pair, bottom pair, like he'll call. So I don't mind the bet. I do like, you know, if you're going to bet to size down, you know, like Casper did.
Yeah, Casper definitely is thoughtful about his spots there. There wasn't much on that board for Bill to connect with.
Right. I feel like the game has gotten a little more reasonable since Mike left.
Yeah,
You know,
it
'cause Mike
definitely
went-
seems to have like calmed down a little.
Yeah, he went through that little period where it was just everything was $300, you know, pre-flop, and he was just kind of running over the table a little bit, or at least trying.
Right. Casper now with the Jack 10 of clubs, he's going to raise it to 65 on the button.
And Day continues to have himself a day.
With kings now. Is he just going to call?
Thought I saw some white chips in there.
Okay, and he does put in a raise.
Yeah, so 285.
Casper says, let's go. Call 220.
Casper's looking for a friendly flop.
I got what you did there.
I think I probably prefer a little bit smaller sizing on this flop as well. If you're betting out.
How much did he bet out?
I thought it was like a little over 400.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Did he show? Casper's got a big grin on his face, like.
I don't know if he did or not. I might have missed that. I have a hard time hearing.
He paid him.
It's like listening a little bit. How do I turn the volume up? Is that one? Okay. Maybe. Wow, he ghosted that flop, Paul says.
No, sir. I feel like they've shown me before.
Okay, so yeah, we did. We tried. Guys, don't forget, we're almost out of time here. We only have a few more minutes. Hit that like button, that subscribe button. That's going to notify you whenever we go live. You don't want to miss any of this crazy action. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but this has been a crazy game of no limit hold'em, 5-5 poker. It's been super fun to watch, and we are starting to wind down for our stream here. So you only have a few more minutes.
Yeah, this is the kind of game, like, if you play in this game, you age about 5 years while being at the table. You know, because every pot is so
massive.
huge and
They're
stressful.
all so big, yeah.
And we have Day catching another set.
Set of 9s for Day.
And nobody else really has anything.
Nobody has anything for him to get any action.
CKY, what's going on, man? Welcome.
Also, keep in mind, I just want to let you know, we have a lot of things coming up in April. April is going to be a huge month at Stones. Starting around the middle of the month with our Spring Classic, we're going to have all the vloggers here. $250,000 Spring Classic, April 13th through the 22nd. We've got Lex Valdehus, Jason Somerville, Andrew Nemi, Kevin Martin. They will be guest commentators in the booth. You're not going to want to miss their commentary. Super smart. Win the Button's going to be Friday, April 13th from 10 a.m. It's a $15,000 guarantee.
Super fun tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And then April 14th, it's our chip amplifier.
Yeah, and the great thing about the chip amplifier is, you know, you can buy in at multiple different times. And I actually like buying in at the latest possible, one, so I can sleep in. But two, you just get such a huge stack. It's really hard not to make the money when you buy in at the late stages of that tournament. Although I hear it's happened.
I wouldn't be surprised. Anything and everything can happen at Stones on any given day. We like to get cray around here. So Day raises with the ace-9 of hearts from the cutoff. Sips on the button with the same hand, not suited though. He's going to call the 60. I know Bill H is calling with his 25, but Harlan has kings, so he's going to put in a 3-bet. And this may get everybody to fold out, and Harlan just take it down right here. $180 pot. He 3-bet
330. 330.
330.
And Bill says, why not? I got 330 here. Let's play.
Yeah, Bill H likes Jack 10. I don't blame him. It's a nice hand. I don't know that I like it that much, but, you know, Bill does what he wants.
That's true.
He's Bill H. He does what he wants.
Bill didn't win a 10K pot by not doing what Bill
And
wants.
look at this. He flops bottom pair, and there's a lot of good turn cards for him, possible good turn cards for him. But Harlan is still best here. by a lot. Good to see you as well, Donkey. Good night, Renee.
Donkey, have a good night. And Renee.
Ghost of M's like cold calls, love it. Yeah, because he's Bill H. That's why we love Bill H so much. He's here to play and have fun.
And,
he's not scared.
And he
You think
knows he's
scared?
going to hit trip 10s.
He's not scared because he knows it's coming. A 10 is coming on the turn. Oh wait, a 10 just came on the turn. He's Bill H. And Harlan is about to be vilified here.
I feel like there's a pill. That's a new pill, a vilified.
Vilified.
That's the new meaning.
Oh
is
my
to
gosh,
get
whoever
turned or
just
rivered by
decided
Bill.
to tune out within the last couple of hands and go to bed. Wah, wah. You're just about to miss out on a really big pot
And
here.
you're not happy when, oh my god, how many quads do we need to get?
Again for the third time. Now Harlan feels great.
Yes.
He's like, oh, I just have.
He's like, oh,
I was
well,
worried about a 10. I'm not
yeah.
worried about a 10
The
anymore.
queen is what turned donked
Oh,
into
I
me.
know I'm good. Look at Harlan. He's just over there like, I don't know if I'm good. But
And-
really, he's like, I'm
And
so
Bill
good
bet
here.
1,200.
Oh my god. Bill
Just
bets
4 chips.
1,200.
2 purple
Oh my
chips,
God.
2 white chips.
Oh my gosh. But we were just talking about how Bill doesn't oftentimes bluff. So Harlan is like suspicious.
But I think Bill would play a queen this way as well.
Yeah. So Harlan's deciding whether to call or raise.
I think Harlan's
He's
going to ship.
definitely not folding here. He may just get a call.
Yep,
Oh, he goes
shipped.
all in. Oh my gosh.
And
of course.
snaps.
Snap call. Oh god. All in for 12.4K pot, you guys. Probably our last hand of the night. Just a little 12.4K pot.
I mean, we did ask for another,
Oh my gosh.
another
This
nightmare
Bill
pot.
H straight cold called with Jack 10 off when Harlan had kings. And Harlan 3-bet to 330 on pre-flop. Bets out on the flop. Bill calls with second pair. Bets turn. It's just crazy. This game. If you didn't have high blood pressure before, I'm telling you what. Sick.
We're getting stressed out watching it.
Sick. Wow. Yeah, it says day has 13.3K. What more is there to say?
Wow.
Could it have been any more lively?
I don't think it could have.
Could it have been any more fun?
No.
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 What a great game.
Yeah, there's really nothing we can say other than, even though you just watched this, go back and watch it again.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as we did. What a great 5-5 no limit hold'em game that played like a 10-25 at least. Tons of money, tons of action. This is what we like to see in poker.
Yes, definitely.
Poker is not dead. There are games, good ones.
All you got to do is table select.
There you go.
All right, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Have a good one.